Hey everyone, how are y'all? White little baby, no, I didn't misplace the hoodie. I was trying to find my beanie though. Hey, see you too. How are you? Tracy, how are you? Hey, Princess Megan. Okay, where the hell? Okay. Hey, Emerald Queen, how are you? Hey, Che, how are you tonight? Mar, how are you feeling? And Mar, I love you too, honey. Hey, Chrome Crazy, Werewolf Queen, how are you? Hey, Obsessed for Disneyland, how are you? Somehow my membership didn't renew. Now I feel like a stiff child. Can you drop the link? What a baby? Can you drop the link for Obsessed for Disneyland? Che, we're happy that you're here with us. Oh wait, she needs the membership link. Thank you. See, not talking after this, so no accident happened. Just letting y'all know I love you. I miss y'all. Lamar, we love you and miss you too, honey. Oh, this damn chat does not want to stay on live chat for some reason. Cheryl, how are you feeling? Okay. You're gonna silent mod. Cheryl, that's good. I'm glad you're feeling better. Hey Carmack, how are you? Oh my gosh, y'all, the chat is not wanting to stay on live chat tonight. Oh wait, that's the wrong one. Hold on, I'm trying to get my email pinned to the top of the chat. Okay. Oh, Emerald Queen, thank you. She said, for everyone that needs love, this is for you. That's very nice, Emerald Queen. Hey Tonka, how are you? Hey lovable Mama Bear, how are you? Hey Michelle. Okay, and Tonka, Georgie is the cat, right? When you the one that said something about your cat wasn't doing good? Hey, Boomer girl, how are you? Okay, I thought it was you. I'm glad that she's getting better. Hey, Linda, how are you tonight? Michelle, I'm all right. You were the first person to pronounce my name. Am I saying it right? It is Carmack, right? Oh, Tonka, I'm sorry. I'm glad that he's getting better. Hey, Sharon. Yeah, I got a little bit last night, Linda. I feel like I'm like 3 months behind on sleep. Hey, G, how are you? Okay, so I'm pronouncing it correctly. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. Hey, the post office friends, how are you? See you too. How are you tonight? Hey, tree baby. Mostly endless emojis and such. Oh, Sharon, I'm sorry to hear that. Hey, Ruger, how are you? Joanne, how are you? And yes, Joanne, I'm feeling okay. All right. Trying to get all of my stuff up. Just saying hi to everyone not as fast as what people with things. All right. A couple of different things to go over tonight. Gee, thank you. Hey, Scott, how are you? Hold on, let me look at my calendar real quick. So we don't have any birthdays until the 9th. Headphones, how are you? One of the real ones, how are you? Cheryl, hopefully whenever they get everything done, though, your internet will be working right. I'm good, thank you. Yeah, I'm doing all right, headphones, thank you. Okay, let me grab my first thing and pull up for tonight. So, Bryan Kohberger's attorney, Ian Taylor, motioned the court to appoint a co-counsel, a death-qualified co-counsel. Is upgrading the building. Oh, okay, I see what you're saying, Cheryl. Vapor, how are you? He has 3 lawyers, yes. Hey, Spicy Lady, how are you? Let's see, I'm watching Obsessed Boyfriend one. See you too. I watched it yesterday and today. I don't know. I don't think they've really provided any evidence that the dude is guilty. They've mostly been arguing back and forth, the state and the defense. Hey, Christy, how are you? And the defense is pretty much objected to everything. Every time the state asks a question, they object to it. Hey, Brad, how are you? Okay, all right, so let me get into this real quick. Emery, how are you? The state is going to need some good lawyers to match. Christy, I'm doing good, thank you. Okay. So this is just a motion to appoint a co-counsel, and it says it comes now Ann-C. Taylor, Kootenai County Public Defender and attorney for the above named defendant, moves the court to appoint an additional death qualified co-counsel in the above entitled manner. The motion is made pursuant to the 5th, 6th, 8th, and 14th Amendments to the Idaho and the United States Constitution's Rule 44.3 of the Idaho Criminal Rules. And then the IDAPA 61.01.08 and the American Bar Association guidelines for the appointment and performance of counsel in death penalty cases. So this was done last Thursday on March the 2nd. Okay, and it just says here that they've hereby certified that the true and correct copy and all this and that. So she ends up doing that. I'm curious, though, if the reason why she's wanting the court to appoint a co-counsel that's death qualified is if the state has already let them know that they're going for the death penalty. Or if she's just getting her team together just in case they do. All right, let me grab my next one real quick. All right, and I'm going to have to zoom in. Can I volunteer? To be a death qualified attorney? Is that what you want to volunteer for? See, too, I'm thinking it could go either way. Either the state has already let them know, they just haven't came out publicly with it yet, that they're going to go for the death penalty, or she's just getting her A team together. Oh shit, that's a little blurry. Hold on, let me zoom out. Hey, Yorkie Mama, how are you? Okay, and then this is the order appointing the co-counsel. So it said the court having before the defendant's motion to appoint co-counsel in good cause appearing now, therefore, it is hereby ordered that an additional death qualified co-counsel shall be appointed in the above entitled manner. And then this was done yesterday. It was ordered on March the 6th, 2023 at 3:40 p.m. And then it was signed by Megan Marshall, which is the judge, and it's just the certificate of delivery. It was actually delivered today. And it was, let's see, I hereby certified that the true and correct copy of the foregoing was personally served as indicated below on the 7th day of March 2023 so they sent it to the Kootenai County Public Defender and Latah County Prosecuting Attorney. So they asked for it, what did I say, Thursday, right? March the 2nd. And the order was put in yesterday. So now he'll have 2 death quality attorneys. I'm wondering if it's the Jay Logston guy or if it's another attorney that they're adding to the team. Hey, Simple Butterfly, how are you? Let's see, it won't be long. Just stopping by to say hi, but doctor's appointment at 7 a.m. Okay, well, Simple Butterfly, I hope everything goes okay with it. So I don't know if that's normal though, because the Lori Vallow and the Chad Daybell case, they're both coming up. They're both going to be death penalty cases. I don't know if both of Lori's, because hers starts April the 3rd, so I don't know if both of her attorneys are death qualified. I don't know. Maybe she's just trying to get her team together. Oh, me neither, white little baby. We have got 110 days left. That's it, just 110 days. All All right, and I've got one other thing I need to show because there has been, yeah, I've got that. I've got the countdown on my calendar because I'm anxiously waiting. Now, I'm also waiting to see what this is about. Look, look, Ryan, I can't stand the way I know. Oh, Tree Baby, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. So this is the case summary. If you go to the website, the state of Idaho website, where you can see all of the court documents that has been done for Bryan's case, and they'll do a case summary where it gets put in there. For whatever reason, these other two wasn't put in there though on the case summary. But I did find this that was done on March the 3rd, and it's an order to release property. So that should be coming out because that was done Friday. That should be coming out by this Friday. They should have it on the website. So I'm curious what property that they're releasing. Thank you, gone crazy. Okay, is that the date you think trial will start? Tree Baby, the preliminary hearing will start on June 26th. And I think it's from June 26th to the June 30th. I think they set aside that whole week for it. So you have a hard time watching other trials because I'm not paying attention. That's like the Zachariah Anderson one. I have to make myself listen to it as I'm looking up stuff for Bryan Kohberger. And it really doesn't get interesting until the attorneys are arguing back and forth with each other. Hopefully, though, they don't change it. Hopefully. So I'm curious to know what the order to release property is. My audio went out. Can everybody hear me okay? Zachariah case is boring. Cheryl, they haven't got to none of the good stuff yet, I don't think. They really haven't, like I said earlier, produced any evidence that I've seen so far that shows that he's guilty. Okay, y'all can hear me. Maybe my internet. I hope it's not anything else. Okay. All right, so hopefully we'll find out within the next few days. Sometimes they release the documents early on the main website, but if not during the week, hey Chris, how are you? Then it'll be on Friday the 10th. All right. All right. Okay, give me 1 second here. I actually had to make a list of stuff for tonight. Stone Gator, how are you? Okay, so let me grab next thing here. You see the 4 people kidnapped in Mexico. Oh yes, Cheryl, I saw that. Unfortunately, 2 of them died. There was one of them that was hurt, and then the other one, I guess, is okay. But they did bring the 2 that was still alive. They brought them back to the U.S. Sweet Candy, how are you? All right, y'all. So I got an article I want to read. I got to find it in my email real quick. That is talking about what Bryan Kohberger was doing when he was arrested in Monroe County, Pennsylvania. So someone from the police department out there actually came out and talked about what was going on when he was arrested at that time of morning. I just got to find which one it is. Okay, I think this is it. This dude has got like some weird behaviors, for real. Let me make sure this is the right one. Okay. So they're saying that when Bryan was arrested, or when they raided the house, hey, Dreamcatcher, how are you? That the dude was in his kitchen taking his personal trash and putting it into different Ziploc bags. And if y'all have not done so, please hit the thumbs up. H-Town Finest, how are you? Okay. All right, so it says Monroe County officials share new details about the Idaho murder suspect's arrest. Hold on one second, y'all. Okay. So it says the Monroe County District Attorney's Office sheds light on the Idaho murder suspect's arrest after a search warrant is released. We're learning more about the investigation of the Chestnut Hill Township man charged in the killings of the four University of Idaho students. An unsealed search warrant reveals more about what police were looking for at Bryan Kohberger's home and what they found on him when he was arrested in December. It's been 2 months since Bryan Kohberger was arrested at his parents' home, and now for the first time, Monroe County officials are sharing what he was doing when police found him. And I thought this dude was already weird, but just the stuff they talk about is crazy. So Monroe County First Assistant Michael Mancuso says that Mr. Kohberger, as with any other criminal defendant, is presumed innocent until guilty in a court of law, so that remains the case. But certainly for the investigation and the interest in the investigators in building the case a layer by layer, that was a significant find. The search warrant confirms that Bryan Kohberger was under police surveillance for several weeks before he was arrested, and officials believe that he was in possession of items related to the murders of the four University of Idaho students. Police raided his family's home within Indian Mountain Lake Estates in Chestnut Hill Township on December the 30th, just before 1:30 in the morning. The warrant shows that he had on him at the time, so this was the flashlight, the four medical-style gloves, the large T-shirt, large black sweatshirt, pair of black and white Nike shoes, pair of black socks, black shorts, black boxers, and one cheek swab. So Mancuso says that Mr. Kohberger was found awake and in the kitchen area, dressed in shorts and a shirt and wearing latex medical type gloves, and apparently was taking his personal trash and putting it into separate Ziploc baggies. Mancuso tells us that discovery cleared up another part of the investigation. He says a trash pull that was done days before recovered DNA profiles, but not for him, only for his family members. State police say that they were looking for anything that may shed light on the mental state of Kohberger or the victims, including drugs or medication. But we're told that these actions speak for themselves. It could very explain some of the other aspects of the case from Idaho. Some of the lengths that a person would go to avoid having their DNA left behind when they know or should have known that there was an investigation underway. And as far as the other items, two can play a big role in court. I would be keen on the shoes, the size of the shoes, comparison to any impressions that may have been recovered at the scene of that sort of thing. But we're told the cheek swab is key, something that they could compare to the DNA of, I believe, the snap button on the sheath of the knife. The Monroe County District Attorney's Office continues to investigate Kohberger, and they are in the process of sharing that information with Idaho authorities. And officials tell us that the search warrants related to Kohberger's car and family home would be released. So this was done the day before it came out with the car and all that. But why is he hiding or putting trash in separate baggies, in Ziploc baggies? That don't make sense. Let's see. Wait. goggles and a bunch of stuff from chemistry class. Imagine what he'd look like sitting there with clothes on, sorting trash. I. What would be the point? I mean, what's the point of putting it in separate bags? Why not? Like, is there certain things that he put in one bag versus another bag? And then what is he doing with the bags after he puts the trash in them? Uh, Wait, I don't see seventh row. Did I miss him coming in? Hmm. Hey, Jessica Lynn, how are you? I don't know. That's weird though. Hey, seventh row, how are you? What about my wet job comments? Oh, see, I don't see their comment up there. Hmm, that's weird. Unless he was going to put bleach in the bags also. I mean, I don't know. This dude is. I don't know. Dreamcatcher, I think the cheek swab is. They swabbed him at that time, which they haven't confirmed which way it is. Did he have the cheek swab on his person when he was arrested, or when he was arrested, did they do the cheek swab at that time? Hey, Jan, how are you? Uh, they haven't never came out and confirmed that either way. King Scarlet, how are you? So I don't know which one. I would think that they just swabbed the cheek when they arrested him. So he had a shovel in his car, maybe bury his trash. I didn't think about the shovel in the car. I mean, that could have been, but it just like what is? Get a Walmart bag and shove all your trash in it. If you're gonna burn it, it seems like he was taking certain items maybe and putting certain things in one bag, certain things in another bag. Hey Marissa, how are you? So that's a long time ago, but I think he did some Dexter shit and kept DNA hints to swab. I don't know. He's a very weird person. Sure, he was trying to grade the DNA in the bags. I don't. I mean, why not just burn it? I mean, he lived in a rural area. Unless they have a no burn ban in the area, it seems like he would have just burned it and been done with it. Hey, honey, how are you? He's crazy or very smart. True, baby, that is true. It's kind of hard to determine like what his purpose for it was. See, maybe he's going to destroy the baggies with acid. Jody, how are you? I don't know, Mar. It's. I don't understand. Like, if you're gonna get rid of all of your personal trash anyway, just stick it all in one bag and burn it. That would make sense, unless there was something that he was wanting to do to certain things and do something different to something else. Jody is cool. How are you? All right. I see. He's probably throwing it out the window on the highway. That's why he had so many miles on his car. I don't know. The dude is just like super weird. I don't know. Uh, Hold on one second, y'all. Let me read this real quick. Oh, Mar, thank you. I got your email. Thank you. Okay, so Mar, what I'll do is I will respond to that email once I get done on here. Okay, is that fine? Did he know that there? H. Champanis, they said that he should have known that they were that there was an investigation going on and possibly watching it. Hey Dory, how are you? See, I think his parents knew deep inside something was wrong. And see, I wonder though if that was a normal thing for him while he was at home. Did he always do that with his trash, or is that the reason why he was doing it at 1:30 in the morning? It's because his parents were asleep, and they wouldn't have known that that's what he was doing. Okay, let me see what this is. All right, I need to delete this email because I've already went over this. I'm still see now the glove thing. I wonder if he's doing it because it was trash and it's like an OCD thing, or if he truly was trying to hide his DNA. And maybe I wonder, like somebody else said, uh, the swab that he had, was it because, like I said, they haven't came out and confirmed whether it was a swab that they used on him when he was arrested or it was one that he already had in his pocket. And I wonder if he had someone else's DNA on the swab. Dory, that's just what I was thinking. Maybe he had somebody else's DNA on that swab and it was putting uh, DNA on it. But see, they never came out and said what they found in the baggies either. If I saw my son doing that, I would be very concerned. Yeah, it's hey Pin Dizzy, how are you? Um, I don't know. It that's another thing that could go two different ways with the swab thing and the could have been somebody else's DNA. Stonegator, I don't know. That's something. Hold on, I'm gonna have to write that down because now I'm gonna have to go digging to find the answer to that. Hold on, y'all. But I mean, even if it doesn't stay very long, he could have got. Hey, Natasha, how are you? He could have got that DNA that day from somewhere. I think they got solid evidence that he did it. Glowbug, how are you? And yeah, I think that they've got, or I hope that what they've got. I mean, we've seen some of what they got. Hopefully, what they have sticks. So if I hold Stonegator's hand, she has my DNA. Yes, H. Shalvanas. And I say that we talked about that like a couple of weeks ago. Like if you shake someone's hand, then yeah, you get that DNA on it. See, it stays a long time. I have a DNA swab of the nieces. They told me it lasts. Oh, really? That's interesting, Mark. So he could have at any point gotten anybody's DNA while he was in Idaho those couple of times. He could have got it from somebody at Washington State University. Um, he could have got it along the way home back to Pennsylvania. Oh, Glowbug, you're fine. Okay. I don't know. It's just some weird stuff, y'all. This dude is just. It's like every day when something comes out that's new, it's just something weird. Honestly, now it's just dang thing will quit popping up so I can read what this article is before I pull it up. I think the DNA swab in LA took at the time of his arrest. Dizzy, we've got 110 days. In another hour for me, it'll be 109. Gen C, how are you? See, you can mail it. Could have gotten it some from a weird survey himself. I don't know. The dude is just out there, y'all. For real. Gosh, why is this? Okay, so I'm gonna pull this one up now. Maybe this dang thing will quit. I think the swab was his. It's on his list. See, Dreamcatcher, that's what I'm wondering because, like I said, they never did confirm if it was on him. Like when they went in or raided the house, they found it like in his pocket or whatever, or is that the swab that they used themselves to swab him? Because it seems that it could go either way. Coffee Cake, how are you? What is considered personal trash? What were in the baggies? What cannot be flushed? I'm thinking personal trash, maybe stuff that he might have had in his room. Um, Stuff maybe that he was trying to get rid of. I don't know. I wish they would have went more into detail about it, but because they didn't even put. Did they put on the list of items the stuff that they took from the house and those? I know that they had 2 Ziplocs on there. I'll have to go back and read the items list of what they found from his parents' house. Okay, so this says the court documents reveal more about the arrest of murder suspect Bryan Kohberger. And this has a defense attorney explaining the significance of what was recently revealed. Okay. Did you know they reopened Biggie's murder? No, Piantizzi, I didn't know that. So what if he was trying to send the wrong DNA to one of those companies as his to try to deflect? I don't know. Because, there was an article that came out several weeks ago um, where they were talking about that he had told one of his, I guess, classmates or whatever, um, about him doing the DNA or whatever before that his DNA had already been taken for the genealogy stuff. So I wonder if he was, I don't know. This dude is weird, y'all. It's your opinion. Don't worry about anybody else's feelings. Wait, did somebody say something to Pin Dizzy? Okay, I think that other BK needed to be looked into. Also, I do apologize if me thinking that past. Oh, Pin Dizzy, you're talking about the Brent guy. Is that what you're talking about? And you don't have to apologize. You haven't said anything wrong. Because there are people in here who thinks that he needs to. He needed to be looked into as well. Some people think that he didn't have anything to do with it, and then there are some people that thinks that he should have been looked into as well. I mean, I'm curious to know if him and Bryan ever met, but I'm also curious to know if Bryan and the creepy neighbor dude ever met. Let's see. Okay, but they send you the kit and you send it in, so there is room for someone to send in a different one. So King Scarlet, you're talking about so let's say he would have got one of those kits sent to him, got someone else's DNA on it, and then sent it in, and they would have put that person's DNA in their system as his. I mean, that could have been possible. And then that way, if the police was to look into him for anything and they went through the whole genealogy database, then it wouldn't have been that DNA that they found. It would have been someone else's. But I think where they got him at is because they got the trash out of his parents' house, and that DNA that was on the sheet came back as well. What they got out of the trash would have been, it showed that he was, that DNA in the trash was how did they put it? The father of the DNA that was on the sheet. Oh, wait, creepy neighbor BK and the other guy, please. Yeah, H-Town Finest, that was Brent. That's who Penzies was talking about. Can you imagine if he was adopted? But if he was adopted, then the trash DNA wouldn't have matched up to the sheath DNA. It's possible not that he did it or trying to frame others. King Scarlet, that's a good theory though. Trying to frame someone else. All right, so let me get into this article real quick and I'll try to keep up with chat as I'm going as well. All right, so it says since suspected killer Bryan Kohberger left Pennsylvania, there's been little information about what authorities were looking for until this week. Several warrants were unsealed that detail what Kohberger had on his person when he was arrested and what was in his white Hyundai Elantra and what police found in his parents' home in Monroe County. See, the other young guy in the creek, I bet it has something to do with this too. Oh, Penzies, you're talking about, oh shit, I just had that boy's Hudson. He was the one that was found in the creek, but that was several months before. I can't remember the exact month, but it was several months before the murders happened in November. Hey, Anthony, how are you? Let's see. So the genealogy site can't confirm the DNA they received is actually from the person sending it in. I wonder if these sites could be discredited in court for that reason. I mean, because how would they send it? I mean, how would they confirm it? If they're sending it, so let's say they sent me a kid, and then I go, hey T-Rev, how are you? And I go and I somehow get DNA from my neighbor and then send it back. How would they confirm it unless my neighbor's DNA was already in the database? Brian, how are you? Hey, American Princess, how are you? So I wonder if his attorney or even the prosecution is going to look into that, since it's out now that he did send in his DNA to one of the genealogy sites. China owns all them DNA deals now. Oh, see you too. I didn't know that. See, the companies don't allow courts access. I thought there was some of them that did though. That's going to be interesting if that gets brought up in court. I forget. What is it? I know there was one that wouldn't share. I forgot which one ever was. I'm gonna have to look into that because that's gonna be an interesting thing if that's what he was doing. Because if he sent his DNA in, and then they had that DNA on the sheet, it should have came back to his DNA. So let the whole storyline go slowly. Hey Norman, how are you?
Released court documents reveal more information about the arrest of murder suspect Bryan Kohberger.
Kohberger was arrested in Monroe
Friday
County
13th
late
Jason
last
Mask watching
year,
Maddie and
suspected of
Kaylee.
killing 4 college students from the University of Idaho. Newswatch 16's Jack Colkin is here to explain the
Norman, do you
significance
remember
of what we learned
what the
today.
timestamp
Jack.
was on that
Police
part
in
that you
Scott, the
saw
search
it?
warrants about the arrest of
Send an
suspected killer
email
Bryan
if you were
Kohberger
interested
have
about
been
DNA
sealed
and
since he was
investigation
arrested in
genetic.
Monroe
Okay,
County
thank you,
back
Scott.
in December. Now that those warrants have been released, we spoke with
Hey,
a legal
Krista,
expert
how are
to
you?
help break it all down.
Since suspected killer Bryan Kohberger left Pennsylvania, there's been little information about what
All right.
authorities were looking
Y'all, why
for
did this
until
just
this
start
week.
over and make me lose my
Several warrants
place?
were unsealed.
Okay. Audio is play. Oh shit! I had my. Hold on, y'all. That wasn't supposed to do that. Sorry about that. And I didn't know it was playing because I had my computer muted. Let's see. She is bound to have a lot of other meetings in as well. She should be. See, it was on my show art. Okay, thank you, Norman. And Krista, yes, I'm doing good. Okay, y'all, let me finish reading this real quick. All this shit keeps popping up. Okay, so it says, when you read the language of these requests, you know that they are asking for any and all, because they are early in the investigation and that they are looking for anything to tie it together, said Brett Regal, district attorney at Arm Lawyers. So Regal from Stroudsburg says that these searches play a major role in building a case against suspects like Kohberger. In reading the warrant returns, finding a glove may not be terribly exciting on its own, but when you look at that glove, if it happens to come from the same lot and production run number as the same gloves that they found in his apartment, when you have ties to the prosecution, it needs to build a case. So I wonder if they're going to look at that. So some of these items taken in were rubber gloves, several knives, a gun, and it was actually one gun, not guns, and electronics. Each, according to Regal, will be sent to a lab for testing. They recover a knife. Well, is that knife going to have any microscopic testable blood on it? They found things that had reddish stains on the pillowcase as a result. Maybe there's going to be a DNA link between those things when it comes out of the lab, Regal said. Okay. As one divided we fall. How are you? I'm trying to make sure I haven't missed anybody. Okay, so as the case builds against Kohberger, Regal expects more information to be released sparingly. Hopefully it does. So do we have any idea who the co-counsel is for Ann Taylor? One of BK requested saying perhaps she wants to hand this off. Coffee Cake, no. They motioned the court to appoint one, and then the order was put in to appoint one. But they haven't released the name yet. So I don't know if they're talking about the Jay Logston guy who, came out and they said, I believe, was like second chair or whatever, or if it's going to be another attorney. And I'm wondering if the prosecution has said that they're going to go for the death penalty, or if she's just trying to build her team up before June 26th. Crystal, how are you? Let's see. Stonegater said, press 1 if you think that this will be a death penalty case. I'm pretty sure it will be. And King Scarlet, hopefully they'll come out and say who it'll be, if it's a new one. And I'm curious to know what that order to release property is. Okay, and Tia was saying she wasn't Kira's public defender, that her name is on all the paperwork. Yeah, she said that her name is on all the paperwork because she's the whatever chief public defender or whatever, and then the person who is the actual attorney for the defendant is below her name. But there is one case, she said, I believe 2017, I believe is when it was, that there was a case that Xana's mama had that she did defend her at, or that she was her public defender, but she says she never met her, talked to her, or gave her any type of legal advice. See, they better have enough to go for the death penalty. Yeah. So I want to say, Pendizzy, I think it was 2017, because there was a case that she had in 2017, and think it got taken care of. And then she had another one. And the attorney that was on that one, I can't remember if he withdrew from the case or something happened and he wasn't no longer over it. And she said that it's her practice that if there's an attorney that withdraws from a case or they're leaving the public defender's office or whatever, then the cases that they had get referred to her. And so that's how she ended up with Kara's case for that one. But that was the only one that she had. Okay. All right. Okay, so it says from the prosecution standpoint, they'll probably hold back as long as they can because the longer it is in the defense's hands, the longer the defense has to work with it and can also be desensitized. If you will, the public becomes to those details. Yeah, and I can barely read this. And I can't zoom in on it. Okay, and it just says that Bryan Kohberger remains locked up in the county jail in Idaho. Oh, Stone Gator, thank you so much for gifting that membership. And then his preliminary hearing is scheduled for late June. Let's see, there is no plea from him. No, there's not, King Scarlet. He won't enter a plea until June 26th. Because that was another thing that we're talking about. When the preliminary hearing starts, he will enter his plea at that time, and then the state has 30 days from that day to let him know if they're going to pursue the death penalty. So they'll have until July the 26th. Stone Gator, thank you for gifting another membership. So I don't know if they can let Ann Taylor and Bryan Kohberger know before he enters a plea, or if they have to wait until he enters the plea that they're going to pursue the death penalty. All right. Hey, Tonka, how are you? Let's see, how does the death penalty work? Say 2 sets of parents are for it and 2 are against it. What would happen? No death penalty in England, so I don't know about that. I'm pretty sure, Natasha, that the prosecution is going to take into consideration what the parents want or their opinion of it. I know that 1 set of parents are for it. We've heard Xana's mom say that she doesn't want the death penalty. She just wants him to pay for what he did and spend the rest of his life in jail. But we haven't heard anything from the other parents. So I'm pretty sure he's going to take into consideration what they have to say about it. But in the end, ultimately, it's going to be the prosecution's decision. Okay, I have surgery. Wait, Bryan, you're having surgery Friday? Wait, I'm gonna have cancer surgery Friday. Last night, and this is 100. Well, Bryan, I hope everything turns out okay with your surgery. Let's see, skin cancer. Okay, well, if you can, Bryan, can you email me and let me know how it goes? I know probably not Friday, but just at any time that you feel able to. Can you email me and let me know? But yes, y'all keep Bryan in your prayers and his dad. I saw what he said about his dad as well. So y'all keep Bryan Hoffman and his daddy in your prayers. Let's see, I think if PK is found with DNA, he will throw mercy on the court. I wonder if they're going to offer him a plea deal. Anthony, there is a lawmaker in Idaho, and he has issued a bill, and I'm sure it's got to pass and all that, but he wants to bring back the firing squad in the state of Idaho as a second option because they've been having issues with getting the chemicals needed for lethal injection, and they've had to already reschedule one guy that they have on death row right now. He was supposed to be executed last year, and they had to cancel it. So now it's scheduled, I believe, for the 23rd of this month. So the lawmakers trying to get it brought back as a second option if they can't get the chemicals. But the way he has it, if somebody is convicted and to death or whatever, they have to let them know within 5 days that they can get the chemicals, and if not, then I guess they would revert to the firing squad. Hey Tad, how are you? My mom had a yeah. I see I'm recovering from surgery now. With a heart failure. Oh wow, Natasha, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you get better soon. So you can't afford. Wait, hold on. My chat's moving too quick. You deal without looking weak. You need to say you're going for the death penalty to force him to ask for a plea deal. I just don't think he's gonna. I don't think he's gonna do a plea deal though. That's why I was wondering if they're gonna add or if they're gonna try to give him one, because I don't see him taking it. And I'm thinking maybe they would, try to give him a plea deal just so he would give up the knife. If he is convicted and is sentenced death penalty, then he should be executed in the same manner as used on his victims. Rebecca, I agree, but unfortunately they won't do it like that. So you never know. I know, King Scarlet. It's just, I don't know. I think the dude is too egotistical and narcissistic to admit to anything, because if he took a plea, it would require him to admit to the crime. And I don't think that he's going to do that. Could be worse. I try to stay positive and just grateful I'm still around for my children. Natasha, that is the truth, honey. But we're going to keep you all in our prayers. Michelle, I think that too. I think he's just too narcissistic. Just see. Wait, Stonegator. Yeah, when I open up the panel here in a few minutes, I'll let you come up. Kelly M, how are you? Yes, y'all make sure to keep Bryan in your prayers. And Bryan, I'm gonna be expecting that email from you. Like I said, probably not Friday, because I know you're probably not gonna feel like it. But I still want to know how everything turned out. Let's see, they should bring out the tree tripper. Lord, I just read Christian's thing. They should bring out the tree chipper. For whatever reason, I said tree tripper. Let's see, let me get live. Wonder why BK is so confident he will be exonerated. That's that ego, Rebecca. He literally thinks that he's going to be exonerated. I think the only way they're going to do a plea deal is if he's got to admit to everything, and he's also got to tell where the murder weapon is. I think that's the only way. And I just don't see him doing that. Glowbook, thank you for becoming a member. Welcome to the family. But I am getting more scared, just a pain. Bryan, everything's going to be okay. Just once it's done, take it easy. Follow the doctor's orders, and everything will be okay. We're all going to be praying for you. Okay. All right. Let me grab my next thing. Membership back. Oh, Glowbug, that's fine, honey. Hey, Susie, how are you? Let's see. Quite a reveal about the trash. Susie, I don't understand the whole trash thing in the Ziplocs. Like, for real. Let's see, so at least okay, yeah, but Brian, don't be saying stuff like that. We don't want you to die. You're gonna be fine. Just doing your membership. Okay, so let me grab my next thing. I have a video. Wait, I think he's gonna plead guilty. Natasha, you think he's gonna plead guilty? He might, but I don't know. See, I have a moment. Well, see you too. They did say Ziploc baggies. Maybe Ann can get a private call between BK and BTK. BTK could talk him into taking a plea. He won't take advice from a woman. It could be true. I mean, he might take a plea or he might plead guilty. I'm gonna be surprised if he does so, honestly. Hold on, y'all. I gotta get situated here. I'm gonna be like super surprised if this dude pleads guilty. See you too. No, I haven't heard anything else about it. Wait, okay, so on another channel, a scientist says Ziploc baggies destroy DNA faster. Oh, wow. Hey, Billy, how are you? And yes, Billy, it has been a while. How have you been? Share my upcoming job interview on this channel, and everyone wished me well, and I was hired by 4 of them. Okay, not the same, but Krista, congratulations. Okay, we are here. Okay, Natasha, I do agree about he's thinking of this as a game. He's thinking of it as a game. He's loving the attention that he's getting. He's liking that all the cameras are on him. There's all these news articles, YouTube videos, all these Facebook groups about him and all that. If he does, Natasha, if he does plead guilty, I will get on here and say that you were right. I don't know. I think he's too egotistical for that. That would be him admitting that he done something wrong. And just from what we've heard from other people that's talked about things that he's done to him or done to people around him, and whenever he's confronted about it, he plays dumb and is like, I didn't do that, or I don't know what you're talking about. Okay. All right, let me get something pulled up here. I don't know this is going to start playing, but let me grab this video. It's been, let's see, been good. Just been busy with family stuff and work. Stone Gator, thank you so much for gifting that membership. And Natasha got that one. Bryan, you think he's famous? No, he didn't do it in his head or just losing it. Hey, 9mm, how are you? And 9mm, did your son get off okay? Let's see, if I was accused of not guilty, I would never plead out either. Maybe even if I did it. You still, yeah, that is true, Brad. Hey, Ava, how are you? I don't know. He's just that whole ego thing that he has going on. So kid is now at boot camp. Okay, well, at least he made it okay, 9mm. So, I don't know. He's just liking all this attention. He's probably got more attention now. He really wasn't. I mean, he was getting attention before he was arrested, but he was. We were giving him attention and we didn't even know who he was. Dragon Zone, thank you so much for becoming a member and welcome to the family. So he was getting attention then, but nobody knew who he was. So, it wasn't the attention that he wanted. I know that we all know who he is. And, once that picture and that name came out, the internet kind of went crazy. Both wanting to know who this guy is, and then these other women who have just fallen head over heels in love with the dude. He wanted fame and now he's got infamy. Yeah, he's liking it. He likes to be the center of attention. Karen, how are you? Okay. And if I've missed anyone coming into the chat, I do apologize, but thank you so much for joining us. Jessie Cat, how are you? And yes, Bryan, you are going to be perfectly fine. Okay. Now, this is from News Nation, and I had it for last night, but since I didn't go live, I decided to have it for tonight. But this has, it's the forensic expert analysis search warrants in the Idaho murders case. And this has got Jeffrey Scott Morgan, which I'm sure a lot of people know who he is. I remember him, I believe it was back in Gabby Petito's case when he came out and was talking about it. And he's pretty much been on all these big cases. He's been on News Nation and other people's podcasts and stuff like that. So he's pretty well known. Okay. And Valerie, how are you? Hey, Gigi. How are you? Hey, Lulu. Why don't we have a list that was taken from 11/22? Bryan, they haven't released any type of list of anything that was taken out of the house that day. Now, there's supposed to be a court document that's supposed to be put on the state of Idaho website, hopefully this week, that's order to release property, but I don't know what the property is. I don't know if it's the kids' property to the families or what it is. All right, let me get all of my stuff set up here. I gotta change my setting. 1 second. Okay. Okay, and mods, y'all need to let me know if y'all need the chat slow down. Because it's going fast for me and I'm not able to keep up with everything. But if it's fine for y'all, I will leave it like that for right now. Okay. Wait, Dreamcatcher, what do you mean you're not here tonight? Let's see. Okay, so Crime Crazy, do you need me to slow it down? Let's see, woke up. Gigi, you were sleeping? You can pick on me, Stonegator, I don't mind. Okay, you hope he is not guilty, or you hope he is found not. Wait, Vapor, who are you asking that? I mean, if all the evidence points that he done it, then I hope he's found guilty. Okay, but you can slow it. Okay, I'm gonna slow it down just a little bit before I play this video. Like I said, it's hard for me to keep up with it, and I'm missing people as they're coming in saying hi. And I don't like doing that, so let me slow it down real quick. Bryan, what cops do you want arrested? I'm not going to slow it down very much, Stone Gator, but I'm just going to have to do it enough that I can keep up with the chat. Because I didn't even see Gigi come in and say hi. And there was somebody else that came in, and I had to like scroll back through the chat. Dragon Zone, let's see. I only joined for membership because that 9mm is here. Well, Dragon Zone, thank you so much for becoming a member, and we're happy that you're here with us. Oh, okay. I see what you're saying, Dreamcatcher. I don't know who said they hoped he. Okay, so somebody said they hoped he is not guilty. Hey, P Fox, how are you? Let's see. I've really tried watching the Anderson case. I just can't get into it, but I don't like it. P Fox, I watched it yesterday and I watched it today. Only thing I've heard out of that whole thing is the state and his attorneys arguing back and forth. She's objecting to every single thing that comes out or every question that's asked. And today I was watching it, and they put there was a lady on the stand that Mr. Gutierrez worked for, and it was a text message between her and another guy, and they had it up there, and they called for hearsay on that. And it was a text message right there in writing that had her in it. It's everything. It's either hearsay or relevance or something like that. Bryan, we're talking about the Zachariah Anderson case. Okay. I'm just going to slow it down to 5 seconds right now, y'all. Just enough that I can keep up with it. And honestly, I have not seen anything that they presented that makes him guilty right now. Unless they come out with something else. I don't know. Hey, Judy, how are you? Let's see, what if he didn't do it, but knows who did and planted evidence to see if he is better than Ellie? I don't know, just a thought. Let's see, once the cop said we don't follow any longer leads, I was done. And then I didn't like today, the defense attorney, the guy one, second chair guy. They were talking about something, and he said, this dead person, instead of calling, him, the victim, as Mr. Gutierrez or whatever, he said this dead person. Like, complete disrespect for the victim. Hey, Scott, how are you? Sure. Okay, so I slowed it down a little bit. If I need to, I'll slow it down a little bit more. Susie, it was very disrespectful. It was just downright disgusting, honestly. Let's see, they did it with AM, and he still got convicted in a motive, no weapon. No, I think what got Alec Murdoch, though, was that video that Paul had that was on his phone. I think that's what got him. Okay. All right, y'all. Let me get this pulled up here. But hopefully the Anderson case will get more interesting. I mean, his attorney, I don't know if I really like her or not. She's got these weird faces that she makes, and she wants to argue with the judge too much. He lied to the police. Yeah, I mean, he even lied to his son all the way up until he was sitting on the stand and finally admitted that he was at the kennels. Okay. Sweet Melissa, how are you? Let's see, I've been here since you went live just listening. Okay, thank you, sweet Melissa. Stares and glares. Marissa, yes, I've seen you in chat. Yeah, she's got these weird faces that she makes. It's kind of weird. It's crazy, honestly. All right, so let me get this started. And then while this is playing, I'm going to mute out.
Joining us this morning to talk more about it, Joseph Scott Morgan, Distinguished Scholar of Applied Forensics at Jacksonville State University. Always good to see you. I like what you have to say about these cases when it comes to the evidence and the DNA. So we've got a mask, we've got gloves, we've got clothing, we've got computers, we've got a knife. We don't know if it's the murder weapon or not. Is this enough to tie him to the murders?
Potentially, Marnie, and thanks for having me. It's always great to be with you. Yeah, so specificity, right? You look for those scientific tiebacks or biological tiebacks to places and persons in these particular cases. And certainly DNA is one of the things that you're looking for. Is there some type of unidentified DNA that might be on any of these items that they could trace back to that infamous night in Idaho? And again, don't want to go too far off into the weeds with this, but let's understand that this was such a horrible crime at that particular time. It's given a lot of people pause, particularly in my area of investigations, to think that, is there any chance that he might be involved in anything else, perhaps in Pennsylvania or that area of the country? And so I think all of these tips, all of these leads, everything is going to be exhausted. If they have unidentified DNA in other cases, perhaps, they'll be looking at some of these items perhaps as well.
So you're talking about a possible serial killer.
Well, the tiebacks here, I think, are significant, and you have to look at that. You have to explore it, because this is not like this was kind of a one-off event where you have a single standalone victim that was taken in an isolated area. You've got 4 people. That's a very bold move, and there's many people out there that believe that there could potentially be, I don't know, tiebacks to other things that may have happened in that particular area of the country. You cannot just, brush your hand through the air and dismiss that possibility, given how horrific these crimes were in Idaho.
So then you'll ultimately have kind of 2 different investigations going, one specifically to the 4 Idaho students, but potentially trying to cross-reference any other unsolved cases. What's the process of doing that? The unsolved case part?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. You would want to look and see if you have any cases in that immediate geographic area that, first off, from a profiler's perspective, which I am not one, the nature which crimes were committed, or is there any similarity to those horrible cases in Idaho? And then you're looking for physical evidence that might have tiebacks. Say, for instance, if there's anything that was left in that home in his space. He hadn't been in Idaho a long time. I think people forget about that. Is there anything in that space, in that home in Pennsylvania, that might tie him back to, say, unidentified DNA from cases out in that region that he kind of came from?
And that might be critical when they're looking at things like notes that they seized. They seized 4 laptops as part of the warrant, a cell phone, some other electronic devices. So what types of trail would they be looking for in some of the electronic information?
Well, I mean, just as the team, put together the piece about Murdaugh just a moment ago, we looked at that case for a long time. We thought about physical evidence. Hey, the digital evidence in this day and age in which we dwell is almost insurmountable. when you begin to look at the footprint that's left behind, the tracking of an individual, how they move about, where they were at very specific times. And that's critical because numerically, that's very hard to kind of defeat in court when you're looking at something. You can have physical evidence that might place you there, but when you have this kind of digital footprint that's left behind, that's hard to escape because that's real-time data, that you're looking at. And so if he's carrying a phone around with him, if he's making contact through emails, he's searching on any kind of social media, maybe he's tracking people, maybe he's going on to message boards and disguising himself and talking about things that are very specific to cases, maybe fantasies that he's living out. All that stuff it'll come out eventually, and it'll come back to haunt you if you're a defendant in a case like this.
Well, thank you for watching. Go to News Nation now.
Okay, hold on. I'm trying to get this off of my screen real quick. Okay. Just Jenna, how are you? All right, y'all. And I've seen somebody else that came in a second ago, and I don't remember who it is while the video was playing. Okay, well, if I haven't said hi to you, thank you for joining us. I mean, Jeffrey Scott Morgan, he gives some good things, like the murders that happened out in Washington and Oregon, possibility that Bryan wasn't. Hey, Kim, how are you? There's a good possibility he wasn't involved in those, but there also could be a chance that he was, just based off the similarities of the what happened in Idaho and versus Washington and Oregon. Moonville, how are you? That's who it was that came in. So I do think that they should at least check out those other two cases and just see if there's any ties to Bryan Kohberger in those. Hey, Sama, how are you? Rum Runner, how are you? Okay, the study counted death penalty cases cost, let's see, through the execution and found that the median death penalty case cost $1.26 million. Non-death penalty cases were counted through to the end of, oh wow, that was a lot. Okay, so we need to look at demons. Eon, BK, Brent, mental illness, drugs. Enon worked in vegan, lots of dynamics. Bryan, that's why I wonder if Bryan Kohberger and Enon, if they had ever met, just because of the vegan part of it. It seems like they were living that close together. Enon worked over in that area. Like they would have had to have crossed paths at some point. Okay, incarceration and were found to be a median cost of $740,000. Oh wow. That's evidence of a convict Bryan and his behavior. I hope they find the kid's DNA on his property. Taco, that would be nice if they were able to just something, whether it's in his car, his parents' house. Hey Stevie, how are you? Dragon Zone, have a good night, and thank you so much for stopping by and hanging out with us for a while. But it would be nice, though, if they were to find some of their stuff just either in his house, his car, his parents' house, something. You know, they found some type of DNA, or they found some of their belongings with him or something. Okay, something to... So Jody is cool. You think that Bryan is going to plead guilty as well? All right, so let's do this. Put a 1 in the chat if you think that Bryan will plead guilty. Put a 2 in the chat if you think that he will not. Okay, so we have a few ones in there that they think that he'll plead guilty. Treasure Hackshaw, how are you? Sheila, how are you? Hey, Tag Death. Okay. Emerald Queen says 3 need more info to decide. Okay. All right, so Emerald Queen, just based off of what we know now, what do you think he'll do? Hey, Sandy Feed, how are you? Okay, so I agree that Krista, they aren't the only 2 vegans in Washington and Idaho. No, they're not, but I'm curious if, and I didn't even get to see what Krista's, hold on, let me go up and see what the Krista said. If I can find her comment. Okay, so, all right, so Krista said that in her opinion, there is no connection with Enon or drugs. Okay. I don't know. I mean, I know they're not the only 2 vegans in Washington and Idaho, but I wonder how many other vegans are that close to the house. Like, they're saying Bryan did this, and then Enon lived right next door. Enon worked in Washington. Like, you know what I'm saying? Enon knew what was going on at the house a lot. Linda G, how are you? Okay, I'm pretty sure he knows more about what they have than we do. Let's see, the camera close. Sorry, the camera crossed on me. I didn't mean to be. Angie, you're fine. No need to apologize. Okay. And it's definitely Angie. That is true. Enon is a very eccentric. Would that be a good word to say? Yeah, Anthony the cat. The creepy neighbor. Let's see. If he pleads guilty, they have. If he pleads guilty, they have the murder weapon, and it's to keep death penalty off. I'm curious about the knife. The one that was on the list, the very first item that they put, and they just put knife. They didn't give any type of description what kind it was or anything. The other 2 knives that they found, they did give a description, the brand and all that. But I'm curious, the first item, if that's the murder weapon. Zav guy, how are you? Did you see my comment about the firing squad? Stonegator, I read a couple of your comments. Let's see. I don't think that's a knife. I think it's different. You do, Tonka? I'm curious. It's just weird how they didn't give a description for that one, but they did for the other ones. About SC. No, Stonegator, I might have missed it. All right, y'all. Give me just a second. I'm going to have to go in and slow the chat down a little bit more because I can see I'm still missing people as they come in. Non-descriptive knife that could be entered descriptively at any time. But why would they choose to not enter a description on that knife? At least the brand of it, but they did the other 2. All right, give me just a second, y'all. I'm gonna have to go back in and slow this down a little bit more. So that's what I think is. I'm thinking it could be a possibility, Dreamcatcher, and they just didn't put it on there because they knew that it would be public record, and they didn't want. Maybe they didn't want it out that 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 they have the knife. Okay, give me just a second, y'all. I'm gonna go slow this down a little bit more. None of my cutlery has sheaths. Ava, I've never heard of that. That that a cutlery set has sheaths. I don't know. It'd be interesting to find out once everything is out in the open. Okay, they will test everything, and once confirmed, they will release the information. Tonka, do you think they're going to release the information though before court, or they're going to wait till court? See, girl, what time is it where you're at? Christy, it is 12:05 here in the morning. Okay. So Michelle says her pampered chef knives have sheaths. So Michelle, all of them do, or is it just certain ones? Hey, Woodbury, how are you? See, like if Enon worked in Pullman, like Washington, like had an apartment in Pullman, the heck was he doing in an apartment in Moscow? Okay. How are we gonna wait? Jody is cool. We now have 109 days. I'm literally counting the days down. So, okay, so since it had a sheath, I'm wondering if it's like the type of cutlery knives that you buy individually and not in a set. Or if it, I wonder, because they just told what kind it was, but they didn't. If it's part of a set, why didn't they take the whole set? Or did they take it because it was in his room? Okay, Stone Gator, I probably have missed it because of it. The chat was going too fast. Let me scroll back up. Okay, so I see 2 of the drugs to provide lethal injection are unavailable. Okay, so let me find your first one. Okay, so 2021, South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster signed a bill forcing death row inmates to choose the manner of their execution, either by firing squad or electric chair, if the drugs to provide a lethal injection are unavailable. So that's what they're trying to do with in Idaho. It's just they're not going to give them a choice. If the drugs are not available, then and it gets the firing squad thing gets brought back, then they're just going to go straight to the firing squad. I guess they're going to bring it in as just a means of like a backup if they can't get the chemicals. Okay, there are 3 states, and yeah, see, I didn't even know they had a firing squad. I think wasn't it Utah has a firing squad now? I think that was one of them. I thought that was crazy though, because I know like back in the day they had it, but I didn't know they still did that in some states. June will be. Oh, Bryan, don't say that. Okay, Bryan, if it gets pushed back, then I'm gonna be upset. Let's see. Let me see what this is, because I have another video here, something to do with love letters. Really excited to join. Wood Fairy, we're happy to have you join us tonight. Okay, so the firing squad is one person? I thought... Okay, let me stop this video. I thought it was more than one person up there, but only one had a live round. Million times, but what are the chances is televised? Stevie, I haven't seen anywhere where they've really talked about if it's going to be televised or not, but I do know that one of the families is pushing to have it televised. And their words was they want it televised so everyone will be able to see the kids get justice that they deserve, and not just the people in court or that's in the courtroom at the time that it happens. They want everybody to be able to see it. Okay, firing squad is usually 6 people, 1 to 2 have live rounds. Okay. Okay, I thought that's how it was, that they give them, because that way they don't know, like none of them know which one of them has a live round. But Stevie, yes, I do hope it is televised, because that's going to be, I mean, just think of how many people's going to be watching it. Like everybody, a lot of people are invested just with their time in this case. Anyone notice the Kim lady vanished and Chronicles of Olivia hasn't made a video since then? I had no P-Fox. I haven't heard anything else from the Kim lady. I didn't know that about Olivia, though. I didn't know that she hasn't done anything else since then. Tango Alpha Bravo, how are you? So I think it's correct. 1 has a live round, but the question is, if you survive the shot, are they allowed to do it? I don't know. Because don't they aim for the heart? Tonka, the Kim lady that had called into a couple of different channels and was saying that her, if I can remember this correctly, her daughter's, it was either her daughter's friend or her daughter's roommate at Washington State University. Is where she has a daughter and a son that go there. But her daughter's, it's either her friend or her daughter's roommate at Washington has a boyfriend who goes to the University of Idaho, and he plays football. And she was telling on these different YouTube channels about all the stuff that happened that morning, that everybody knew about it by 10 o'clock, and everybody was getting text messages about it and all this and that. The parents of the victim should be allowed to fire at him. Yeah, I would say they should give them that option, Natasha, but they're not going to do that. Yeah, I can't remember if she said it's her daughter's friend or her daughter's roommate, but has a boyfriend that plays football. And y'all, Troll was searching through YouTube today, and he come across this channel, and I don't remember the name of it. I'll have to get the name. But it's these 2 students that are from the University of Idaho, and they go around, they do, like, ask people stuff on campus. And I believe the guy is part of Sigma Chi. And he has several videos on there. He actually has a Sigma Chi playlist. And on one of the two of the videos on the playlist has Ethan in it. You can see him like in the background where they're having fun. There was the one. There was another YouTube channel that did a video about where they were shaving some of their heads and stuff like that at the frat house and all that. And you can see Ethan in the back of it too. Read this and thought it was one person. Department of Corrections had been planning to strip a chair, place hood over head, and shoot him through the heart. Okay, let me go back up. Okay, all of this hearsay can easily be corroborated. That is true. Wait, what's wrong with Gigi? Hold on, y'all. I'm going back up through the chat. Horrible pain. Gigi, are you okay? Well, she's talking about horrible pain. Okay. Hopefully Gigi is okay. All right, let me see what this video is. Let's see, reporter. Okay, wait. This I want to pull up too. This is talking about Bryan reportedly receiving love letters in jail, but there's an attorney that is on here speaking about it. Oh, Gigi, I hope he gets to feeling better. Will you please tell him that we're praying for him? Does anyone remember Kaylee's family saying that they had originally got told there was a shooting and it's possibly they were shot before? Yeah, Natasha, who was that? Wasn't that Kaylee's mama had said that she had gotten a phone call by was it her niece that had ties to Moscow? And that the niece had heard that there had been an incident the night before that and Kaylee had gotten shot. And then come to find out they had been stabbed. I want to say, I think it was her mom was talking about it when they did the interview. I think it was when they did the interview with Bryan Inton at their house. I believe is when it was. I remember her mama talking about it. And then she said that she was telling everybody to stay calm, and she knew that if something would have happened, that Maddie would have called her. So she tried to call Maddie, and she couldn't get in touch with her either. So I would take action if you know you're working together, and it may surprise you that taking it gets together so much better. Okay, it was when she was saying it's not real until the police show up. Yeah, and then the police ended up showing up right after that. I couldn't imagine. Basically, they hear something bad has happened to their daughter. They can't get in touch with her or Maddie. And then they're basically waiting for the cops to show up to tell them what had happened. Let's see, didn't she say they were waiting hours for the police to contact them? I believe so. Yeah. I couldn't imagine having to sit there. I would have had to have gotten in my vehicle and went to the college. That's gotta be just, like I said, hearing it, and then the cops showing up, and when you see them pulling up, you know what they're there for. You may not know the exact details of it, but whenever you see them pull up, that what you've heard of something bad happening is true. Okay, surely the autopsy would have revealed that to the person performing it. Would it be told? See, I don't know. Surely the parents have gotten the autopsy reports back. Hey, Florida girl, how are you? But I'm wondering, I'm curious to see what the autopsies say, honestly. Let's see. I don't think there's any controversial about it. I mean, I don't think there is anyway, but let's see. Info on SC firing squad set up bullet-resistant glass between death chamber and witnesses. Convicted inmate strapped to metal chair. Well. All right, y'all. Let me get this video pulled up here. This one isn't but a little over 3 minutes long. Let's see. I've had the dreaded knock at the door at 3 a.m. when we did a welfare check on my uncle. Oh, wow, Sam, I'm sorry. Okay, they called the Moscow Police Department and was told someone would call them back. Okay, see, I didn't know that. Was that said in the interview? If it was, I missed it. Okay. Y'all, I forgot what I was doing here. Hold on a minute. Let me get this pulled up here. So this is just basically talking about, what BTK killer's daughter was saying about the women, and they need to realize that how dangerous it is. And I really wish people would understand how dangerous it is that, them getting in touch with these men that's in jail. All right. So let me go ahead and play it. While this is playing, I'm going to mute out. Oh, hold on. May help if I unmute it.
Accused Idaho killer Bryan Kohberger awaits his day in court. The daughter of notorious BTK serial killer is sending out a warning now. She says that anyone posting messages in support of alleged killers is playing right into their hands and inadvertently only feeding their egos. In addition to online fan groups, there are reports he's receiving love letters while he's behind bars. So let's bring in criminal defense attorney Mark Eiglarsh. Mark, thanks so much for taking time with us this afternoon. I want to read you a full quote of what the daughter of the BTK serial killer actually writes. She says this about murderers: they should not be celebrated or worshipped. In doing so, people are only feeding their egos. In some cases, particularly with women over the years, I've seen unhealthy attachments arise with my father. Bottom line, my father is a dangerous, sexual, sadistic psychopath, pathological liar, and a narcissist. People need to remember that when communicating with him and others like him. You agree?
Yeah, a good reminder. And I do agree. Unfortunately, it's not going to stop any of the wackadoodles who every time there's a high profile case, particularly one who might have a shell that's attractive, like some people find this guy, to reach out to them and try to show support to them instead of using the limited time that they have on this earth to show love and support and compassion to the people who were victimized, allegedly, by his actions. It always shocks me that that's what they're doing. But again, you got on one side ego spikes potentially going through his head, but also you've got swirling in there is, my goodness, there's overwhelming evidence that I'm facing that could potentially result in me serving the rest of my natural life in the brutality that is prison, or worse, death. Something's going to keep that ego down. And I would tell him your ego's not your amigo.
Well, John and I are pretty baffled by this phenomenon you see where women end up falling in love with or thinking they've fallen in love with convicted killers, behind bars for life, on death row, whatever it is. A lot of these guys, these murderers, end up having long-term relationships with multiple women. I was trying to find out about, what we know, what clinical researchers have found out about what motivates this kind of behavior. It's called, apparently, the phenomenon hybristophilia, which is defined as a sexual interest in an attraction to those who commit crimes. What do you know about it?
Wow. We learn a lot. I know nothing. That was a beautiful educational moment that we all had. It's good to know. We saw it with Lyle and the other Menendez, women throwing themselves at them. We actually saw it with Casey Anthony. We saw it with Jodi Arias and Ted Bundy down here in Florida. I mean, yeah, he might have had ego spikes from people sending letters and cards to him, but how'd that work out for him, really? That's rhetorical. He's dead.
Yeah, right. I mean, all of this is very disturbing. We'll keep digging through this, bring you back to talk about this over the coming weeks as this trial gets underway, probably not until the spring. All right, Mark, thanks so much for taking time with us.
My pleasure.
You bet.
Okay. Let me read this real quick. I brought that up, and another check got shut down saying I was wrong, not ID. Sam, it's IDs, honey. I don't know why people. I mean, it does look like the number 10, and it does look like it says cards, but it's ID. I forgot how it says, but it is IDs. It's not 10 cards. Little Chili feels safe while he's locked up. Exactly, Susie. And that's the thing. He thinks that he's getting all this attention from all these women writing him and all this and that. But I wonder if he realizes that if he's not in jail, they're not going to want him anymore. He won't appeal to them if he's not in jail. it soon. Sama, I'm sorry. That's ridiculous, though. Let's see. Will the real wackadoodle please stand up? Let's just look. This says ID cards. Yeah, I mean, it does look like 10 cards in a glove in a box, but I'm curious to know whose IDs they are. Like, I wonder if it's his, maybe from, like when at DeSales University or Washington State, or when he was in school. I don't know if the high schools out there require them to wear IDs to school, or if it's old driver's license that he's kept over the years, or if it's other people's IDs. Anthony, the lady that he's talking about, her name is Brittany Hislop. She was the very first one that I remember that came out talking about that she's in love with Bryan. She's sending him love letters. She's putting money on his books. There was a thing that came out like in 2018 that she had posted about what she would do to another woman if she found out that another woman was trying to come in and take the person that she loves. And what she said was not very good. And then she was basically stalking another guy that was in jail in Kentucky, and that inmate had to tell the prison not to let her back in to see him anymore. That's how bad she was. I mean, she was giving this dude that's in Kentucky, she was giving him, putting money on his books, going and visiting, writing him letters and all that. And like I said, he had to tell the prison not to let her back in. And I mean, that's bad whenever an inmate tells the prison, don't let the woman back in. Okay, and let me go back and find my thing, because I had just asked someone something. I don't know if they... Dreamcatcher, you were asking about BTK Killer's daughter's new book. If you have Twitter, she's on Twitter. And I don't know what the name of her book is, but she may have it on her Twitter, on there somewhere. Or you may ask her and see. But I can give you her name on there if you need it. Let's see. Looks like it says ID cards in a glove. Yeah, Tonka, they were in a glove in a box. So I wonder if that was another type of thing with the Ziploc bags. Is he trying to like keep his DNA off the cards or off the ID cards? Okay, where is the name of that person crying, stop, leave Brittany alone? Wait, what? Oh, where's the meme? Lord, y'all, I can't read tonight. Where's the meme of that person crying, stop, leave Brittany alone? I haven't seen that. Wackadoodle doesn't have... With Fairy, yes, she has a 16-year-old son. See, I found it. Okay, no problem, Dreamcatcher. But yeah, she has a 16-year-old son. And she's... what did she say Bryan was? Her divine masculine counterpart. Hey, Sixth Sense, how are you? Master criminal bagging his own evidence for the police. Maybe that's what he was doing, Sixth Sense. Maybe he was bagging evidence and he was practicing. He was learning how to properly do it. Let's see, look up Chris Crocker. He is the one that cried, leave Brittany alone. Okay, I haven't seen that. King Scarlet, she said he was her divine masculine counterpart. I literally have to... I laugh every time I read it or say it. He had a thoughtful moment to make Uh, every time I hear what that Brittany woman is, she is. I'm gonna be honest. I really do think that she needs help. Let's see. Good to see you. I hope you are doing well. 6 cents. Yes, I am doing good. I hope you are as well. Hey, Deetra, how are you? Masculine layer. I don't know. That's what she said. Her divine masculine counterpart. All right, y'all. 1 second here. I think that was all I had. And I don't know. Every time if I think of that phrase in my head, you know how you hear them like them Southern women, how they have like that Southern accent and they say it. Wait, Scarlett, can you leave out? She's from. I'm sorry, Tad. She's saying she wants to off people to. Susie, she did say something back in 2018. She had made a post of what she would do to someone if she found out that another woman was coming in trying to take the man that she loves. And I don't know if I have it. I can't remember if I took a screenshot of it or not. What she said was really bad, though, what she would do. Let me see if I have it. Hold on. I got to find my BK folder on here. It was really bad. I will say that. Let me see if I have it. Like, the woman is she's crazy. I will say that. She sounds dramified and crazified. Let me see if I can find it. What she said, because it was really bad what she said she would do, honestly. Okay, that's not it. I think I took a screenshot of it. But I'm going to have to go through and see if I can find it real quick. I just don't remember where I put it at. Shit. So it may not be in my Bryan folder. Wait. Was that it? No. Hold on. I might not have taken a damn screenshot. No, that's not it. Yeah, I have so many screenshots. It's crazy. Okay, what is this? He is tall and handsome, has a very... Oh, God, that's... Yeah, that's nasty. I don't want to read that again. Yeah, that's some Justin bullshit. Apparently, I didn't do a screenshot of it. White Widow Baby, it's... I thought I took a screenshot of what that Brittany Hislop woman had said back in 2018. Of what she would do to someone if she found out they were trying to take the person that she loved away from her. But apparently I didn't take the screenshot. I could have swore I did. But I thought I had read it on here one night. But I don't know where I would have put it. It's not in the Bryan Kohberger folder. Wait, why do I have a folder here? Hold on, y'all. I have another folder that's from January, and I have no idea what's in it. That's not it. I'll find it if I don't have it. Because, y'all, it was like horrible. Okay, no. I don't have it, I don't guess. No, I do have a wackadoodle folder. Jesse Cats, I don't have one named that yet. Unless I might have stuck it in a folder in a different one by accident. Because sometimes I'll do that, moving stuff around. Let's see, I'm wondering if the piece of paper with password on it was... Linda, I'm curious about that too. Like, I want to know what the password was too. And I want to know what the letter to the dad was. Yeah, I haven't found it yet. 9mm. I've got it somewhere. I have stuff on my computer, and then what I'll do is whenever they get, if they get in my way, then I'll move them to a folder. There has been times where I put stuff in the wrong folder by accident, but I will find it. I know I took the screenshot of it because I could have swore that I read it to y'all that night. Or maybe I pulled it up but didn't read it. I just let y'all read it because of what it said. I know I gotta have it somewhere. Shit, it's not in that folder either. I'll find it. Check the trash bin. Oh, is it kind of crazy? My trash can never stays full because I always empty it out. I clean my computer like every other day. I do a cleanse on it, and it gets rid of all of my what do you call it? Oh shit, I can't remember what it's called now, but it's like a cleanse thing that I do on it. See, I did that today, took my fiance to find it, and it got lost on my computer. I've got it somewhere, but I'll find it eventually. If not, it's on one of the I think it was in one of the Idaho murder Facebook groups. So I'm sure you sent it to us mods. I deleted it without reading it. Yeah, did I send it to one of y'all? I don't remember. I don't remember if I did or not. And I do have a Bryan Kohberger folder in my email. But it would take me forever to go through the emails. TTU girl, how are you? So I'll have to go through the emails later. Alright, so I'm about to open up the panel for a little while. Okay, was it on Reddit or Facebook? It might have been on Reddit. 9mm. I will eventually find it. It, like I said, it may be in one of my email, or not my emails, one of my folders that I have on my computer. I'm just gonna have to go through it. See, I have tons of... Oh, Dieter, you should see my emails. My emails are horrible. I need to get them straightened out. I'm trying to do separate folders for each little thing that I'm doing. Lost check email. That may be it. All right, I'm on. That's why I'm gonna have to go through them and just find all the ones that has a attachment to it. Because I might have sent it to y'all. I don't know, or I might have sent it to myself to pull up one. Oh no, I would have had to have sent it to myself to get it on my computer. I'll have to find it. Judy, how are you?
Fine. Just thought I'd get up here before everybody else does.
Okay, well, thank you for joining me tonight. Other channel, let's see. I've got to find this thing just so I can pull it up for y'all to read, because now it's going to bug the hell out of me. Okay. See, hey, must have got lost. How are you? Oh my gosh, y'all. I've got so much stuff on my computer. It's crazy. All right, let's see who else we got. All right, King Scarlet, I'm bringing you up also. How are you?
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
How are you guys both?
I'm doing all right if I could find this thing that I'm looking for.
I'm fine.
Judy. I was gonna say, have we seen Ann Taylor's style of defense?
No, I have never even looked into her.
Yeah. I was curious to see, her style of defense. Maybe I should look into it.
Yeah, I'm curious if she's gonna be like, you know how you get, and I was talking about this the other night with the Anderson case, like you get some of those attorneys that are uh you like watching them because they're
Mm-hmm.
like they're a certain way in court. I'm wondering if she's gonna be like that. I thought that this Anderson case was his attorney was gonna be like that, but
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so far she's not.
Yeah. I would be studying her like a football playbook.
Well, there
Yeah,
must be a reason why Bryan likes her.
I wonder though if he's trying to overpower her or tell her what to do or how to do her job or stuff like that. Because he has like this control issue.
Well, we
Yeah.
can only hope.
Because I don't think Ann Taylor is the type of woman that's going to let a man, much less Brian, walk over her. You know what I'm saying?
That's why I said we can only hope.
So this whole thing that we were talking about, as far as like him, it just sounds so bizarre how they, found him separating his garbage in little
I,
plastic bags.
I still I don't know why that it doesn't. It's not that it bothers me, but you know how when you get to thinking about something and you're trying to figure out a reason why somebody would do something like that,
Mm-hmm.
and I can't come up with a reason of why he would do it. Hey, Petey, how are you? Um, I really can't, other than maybe trying to get rid of DNA or possibly plant someone else's DNA.
Yeah, so maybe he was destroying it, either pouring bleach, maybe, or just destroying it. But does he not know that they could get his dad's DNA? Did he? I'm
Yeah,
not understanding his how he was thinking.
because and see that's another thing with that swab. They haven't come. I'm thinking that it's a swab that they took once they got there and they arrested him.
Mm-hmm.
But because they haven't confirmed if it was a swab that he had on him or if it's a swab that they did once they got there, like I said earlier, it can go either way because we do know that he has said before to some people in Washington State that he did his genealogy thing and sent his DNA in. So he very well could have had another DNA kit, and that's what the swab came from, and he got someone else's DNA, and maybe he's trying to plant DNA
Mm-hmm.
on it. It still don't explain though why his DNA is on the sheet.
Right. I
Oh,
mean, I could see them saying, "Oh, the defense saying something about he's OCD,"
right.
on that. But however, it it doesn't it's I don't think it doesn't look good, basically.
It really
How
don't.
many OCD people do we know that go through trash?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, I can get if he's emptying trash and he has gloves on. Yeah, I get that. But when you're putting personal trash in Ziploc bags, that makes no sense at all.
Or maybe he was just learning how to alphabetize stuff and he was practicing.
Or he was learning how. I mean, he was practicing bagging up evidence.
It could be that too.
That's just so weird.
And Tad said, I think FBI knew he was headed to South America. I mean, yeah, he was. What I heard that if they wouldn't have came in and busted him when they did, he was supposed to be leaving the next day going to South America. Now, how true that is, I don't know, but
I wonder if that's why he had the IDs or whatever the cards.
yeah, because I mean,
Well,
Oh,
then
okay.
in all the evidence, there should have been one passport.
Right, and they didn't say nothing about his passport.
No.
Yeah.
Passport's a little bit more than an ID. But
Yeah, but and doesn't it take like how long does it take if you go in and to get a passport? How long does it take you to get it?
well,
Couple
you're the
weeks.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Okay, so it's not like he could have went a day or two before he supposedly was leaving him.
No.
Unless it's an emergency. I've gotten one on an emergency basis.
Oh, okay.
And you could get one within 24 hours, I believe. You have the appointment, they give you an appointment, and then you go and they give it to you
Okay.
the same day. You just pay more. But usually it takes weeks.
Because it seems like they would have put in there that if they would have got if he had a passport and they would have got it.
Yeah. However,
Well,
the
the
go ahead.
FBI after me is not a good excuse.
Wait, we'll say that again, Judy. It cut out.
The FBI is chasing me is not a good emergency.
No, you can't go and be like, I need to hurry up and get a passport to get out of the country because the FBI is chasing me. Yeah, that wouldn't have worked.
But as far as the cards, it was either cards or curls, right? It was it the writing?
Yeah, they said something about a lot of people were saying that it was 10 curls in a glove in a box.
Right. If
But
it was that, then curls is that. I mean, we don't know if that's what it actually said, but that would be like hair curls, right? Or what is that curls?
yeah, but wouldn't they have put like hair instead of curls? You know, like they did in Washington whenever they found, was it 8 hair strands, and then there was 4 other strands of hair. How did they say it? 8 strands of hair, and then there was 4 other entrances of 1 hair strand each.
Yeah. I mean, well, we're all interpreted as cards, but
Right.
you know,
I
some
mean,
people,
to me, it looks like ID cards.
yeah.
You know, but if he's hiding them in a glove, did it? I don't think it said what type of glove though. Did it say it a medical type glove or latex glove or like what kind of glove was it?
I believe it was latex medical glove.
Let me see. I think I still got that on my computer. I can't believe I can't find the other thing that crazy woman said.
On the PCA, did it say what times he was going to that area on the 12 different times that he was allegedly stalking them? Did it say what times he was around that area?
It said that all of the times except for one was late at night or early in the morning, but they never said a time of each one. And it's just like the 4 times that he passed by or the 3 times he passed by the house, and then the 4th time was the last time that he went in, but it didn't give a time of those either. It just said the first time he came in was at 3:29, and then the last time he came in was at 4:04, and then he was seen leaving for the last time at 4:20. It would have been a lot easier if they would have given the times of each one that he went in and turned around and came back out, so it would have fit a timeline a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know.
I was trying to get that timeline going too, but I didn't know if it had a time.
Well, maybe they do. They're just not telling us.
Yeah, they probably have it themselves, but yeah, they're not giving it to us.
Yeah.
Okay, what am I looking for? Oh, the 10 ID cards. Okay, it just says ID cards inside glove, inside box.
Yeah.
And then it says the one above it says a man's hand drawing. Now, how did I know it's a man's hand drawing? Like, is that what it is? A man's hand, or it's a man who did a hand drawing? Like they don't how they describe stuff on here.
So yeah, because I found out there's 2 different forms that they have. They have the FD 597, which is the sheet where they just basically list everything, which is the one that they release.
Mm-hmm.
And then they have the FD 302 document, which has everything more in paragraphs, like it's like the who, what, when, more in details and pictures and stuff. So
So that one, the 302, and then it's going to be a more descriptive.
yeah, we don't have that one. We only have the
Okay.
FD 597.
A man's mind by signal. Okay, so Marissa, I seen on Twitter. I'm not gonna say who I seen posted, but they posted on Twitter a drawing. I believe it was by Sigmund. Is it Sigmund Freud or Sigmund? Is it Sigmund Freud? Is that what it is?
I think so.
And it was of a guy, and it was like a man's head, but if you looked at it a certain way, it was also a woman's body.
Mm-hmm. I think that's what they're talking about. I mean, that's what some people are thinking.
But how do they know?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's a man's hand drawing. How do they know that that's it? Because that's all it says here, number 34, a man's hand drawing. And then it says ID cards inside glove, inside box.
So, Scarlett, remember how we were talking about all the computers that they took?
Uh-huh.
So that would include all the computers in the home, not just his computers.
Yeah, because it was his mom, dad, and his sister also lived there, I believe.
Yeah, so I mean, it would be considered evidence because he would have access to all the computers, and he could do research or, who knows, send emails and think that nobody's gonna know. So they would have to take all the computers that he would have access to.
But it also said, and I'm writing down this a man's mind drawing thing so I can look it up. Okay.
Can I ask a question real quick before?
Yeah, go ahead.
Did that thing say man's with an S or man?
Hold on, let me pull it up here.
That's why I wanted to ask you right now.
Okay. 1 second, and I will pull it up on the screen. Let me get all my stuff moved around. I've got to get more monitors. This is crazy. Okay. Is it up there? Okay, so let me zoom it in right here where we can see it. Okay, so it says right number 34. Don't that say a man's hand drawing?
Yeah, okay. I just wondered because I was wondering if somebody was trying to say it was a man, comma, hand drawing. You get what I'm saying?
So wait, does that say hand or does that say mind? A man's mind drawing. That may say mind. That may be how they know what it was. Okay, so Marissa and the Chris are saying mind. Okay, so that's how they know what the drawing is in. Okay. Because see, on the typed out version that I have, I believe they have it as a man's hand drawing. Well, let me see if I can find the typed out version.
I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No, you're good.
That thought popped in my head.
Okay, so where is my... I guess I deleted the damn typed up version. Well, shit.
Well, it could have been a drawing that somebody drew and he just thought it was cool and just kept, that's all.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that's what it says in a man's mind drawing.
Well, maybe that's what he thought a mind looked like.
Yeah, because his thing was, he was into the mind stuff or whatever, like how the mind works and all this crazy stuff.
Well, he couldn't tell by his own, so he had to look at a picture.
No, he's...
he missed the DNA series or something.
He missed the whole how not to leave your DNA on stuff whenever you commit a crime, but then he jumped straight over to bagging evidence for the police in your own crime.
Okay, sorry to interrupt you. I just had a thought there. And
Okay, go
Wanted to
ahead.
catch it while you still had it fresh.
Okay, go ahead.
No, that's it. I just
Oh,
got
okay.
one question.
Yeah, I think that's what he did. He was like, "Well, I must have missed the whole DNA thing. I'll just go to learn and I'll practice how to bag evidence. Like I'll have all my evidence bagged for the cops when they get here."
So they busted in and they're like, "Hey, Bryan, thanks. We'll take that."
And it was
Just
categorized already.
I wonder seriously if he was putting paper in one bag, plastic in another bag, uh, like certain types of material in these different bags, or how was he like? How did he determine what article of trash went into what bag?
Maybe he was just into what do you call it, recycling. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I mean, he could have been.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just,
I'm going to recycle this and then put it all in the same bag back where I got it and just throw it away.
he's gonna, yeah, he's recycling, but he has paper. Uh, Stonegator, I can see you. He if he was recycling, but he put paper in a plastic bag. Unless he was just putting it in there, and then once he don't they have like recycling centers in some states?
Yeah.
Yeah, they have
Okay.
shredding, everything.
Okay, so maybe that's what he was doing, and if he was recycling, okay, hold on, Stonegator, let me get you the link. Maybe he was putting it in each individual bag to recycle, and then once he got to the place, he would then empty it out. I mean, I would still say stick it in a Walmart bag or something. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I think he was pouring something in the baggies or something. I don't know, or
to
just
get rid of, could have been.
yeah. That's probably why they couldn't find any DNA on him. He's been doing that.
That is crazy. I'm still curious now, though, since we were talking about the whole DNA and the genealogy thing. I wonder if he sent in someone else's DNA uh, to act like it's his own.
Yeah. Oh, you know what stuck out to me too
Mm-hmm.
was the AT&T bill, which we didn't think much of, right? Because AT&T bill, right?
Right.
But I think it's important because they're gonna try to disassociate him with his phone. But this bill basically proves that he was paying the bill, that he knew, it's his bill, it's his
Right.
phone.
Oh yeah, and that's just like all these masks that they were finding, these different black masks. Uh, there was something else I was reading, and the guy that was talking. He was like an expert on it, and he was saying that he thought that the mask would be the most important piece of evidence
Mm-hmm.
because the Dylan, we know, said that she saw the guy had a black mask on, covered his nose and his mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So what if there's DNA from the victims on one of the masks?
Mm-hmm.
And so that would be like a key piece of evidence that they possibly could have found in the house. He might have washed it, thought he got everything off of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I just don't think you're going to be able to get rid of all.
Everything.
Yeah, right. All the DNA. Stonegator, can you hear us okay?
Yes,
How are you?
good. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Okay, so what was you was wanting to tell us something about the firing squad or something like that earlier?
Well, I just found an article of South Carolina like reasoning why they went to the firing squad in case people were wondering. Also I found an article that is about Ann Taylor, her salary, who she is, what her background is in the legal field. Would you like to read it? I can put it in back chat if you would like to read it.
Yeah, you can drop the link back here and I'll grab it. Now, I'm kind of curious to know who she is now. Or more about her other than her just being a death qualified public defender in the state of Idaho.
Same. And she's getting paid, you said $200 an hour, and then the guy beneath her is getting paid $185, right?
She's getting Kootenai County $200 an hour up to 40 hours a week. Anything over 40 hours that she works, that $200 then goes straight into her pocket. So the Kootenai County's comes off the top for the first 40 hours. Then it goes after that into her pocket. The second chair attorney or co-counsel is getting $180 for a 40-hour work week, and anything over 40 hours, he gets paid directly.
And if he has to travel like 80 miles, right?
Yeah, they're all well. See, that's another thing. They're also paying. Latah County is also paying for their mileage, their food, and if they have to stay in a hotel, they're paying for that as well.
I'm sure for most of the part they're probably having Zoom meetings since they're so far away.
Right,
But
probably.
just to let you know, I mean, I put it in back chat, but $200,000 is usually her yearly salary.
Okay, and I've got the link. Let me pull it up here.
So, I mean, the Bryan Kohberger case is definitely like so many times more than her normal salary.
Oh, she's gonna make bank off of this. Okay, so it says Ann Taylor, public defender. Let's see, Bio Weekly, Wiki. Y'all, I cannot read tonight for some reason. Okay, so Ann Taylor's biography says Ann Taylor is a criminal defense attorney and the chief public defender in Kootenai County, Idaho. She was hired as the Kootenai County public defender in June of 2017. She took over from John Adams, who retired in March after nearly 21 years as a chief public defender. And then she says, as I begin this journey, I am excited to do my very best. And most of all, I have gratitude for all the members of the Public Defender's Office. I am grateful to be welcomed by an outstanding office, and I am looking forward to us standing together to advocate for citizens in Kootenai County. So before being hired as the Kootenai County Public Defender, Taylor specialized in criminal defense and private practice for the firm of Palmer, George, and Taylor since 2012. Prior to her private practice, she worked for the Kootenai County Public Defender's Office from 2004 to 2012. During that period, she thought that it would be a great to lead that department. And let me see if I can zoom this in a little bit, y'all. This shit's making it hard for me to read. Okay. All right. So I always thought that it would be the job that I want someday, she told the press. It's such necessary work, Taylor said, referring to what interested her in the public defense position. It's important to make sure that constitutional rights apply to everyone. You help people who are facing horrible times, and I love the work. An Idaho native, Ann Taylor graduated from the Idaho State University with a bachelor's degree in political science and a master's degree in public administration. She earned her doctorate degree from the University of Idaho in 1998. So, damn, she went to the University of Idaho as well. So she went on to practice law at the federal, state, and local levels, and Taylor also worked for 5 years in the Kootenai County Prosecutor's Office. Taylor serves on the board of the Idaho Association of Criminal Defense Lawyers and is death penalty certified in Idaho. Okay, so they got a little thing about with Bryan. So Bryan Kohberger, attorney Ann Taylor. So Kootenai County Chief Public Defender Ann Taylor is the defense lawyer for the Idaho murder suspect Bryan Kohberger. So according to the New York Post, a woman resembling Taylor was spotted on Tuesday, January 3rd, 2023, with a group of investigators at the King Road home in Moscow, the site of the brutal murders on November 13th. The group declined to identify themselves to the media and reportedly spent about 5 hours around the house before leaving, reported the outlet. Kohberger was arrested in his hometown of Albrightsville, Pennsylvania, nearly 7 weeks after the University of Idaho students Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, and Ethan were stabbed to death in their sleep in their off-campus house in Moscow. He was arrested at his parents' home. Okay, so we know all that. Let's see.
Can I stop you right there for 1 second?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you scroll back to the previous paragraph so I can find it? I wanted to stop you after you read this. Okay, so January 3rd is when Ann Taylor visited the house with the investigators. When was he arrested?
December the 30th.
Okay, I thought it was January. Also, do they keep saying his sister was at the house. Does the sister have blonde hair? Could they be mistaking the sister and
She
Ann Taylor?
It wasn't.
No, there was another lady that was there with Ann Taylor at the house. She
Oh,
was filming stuff. She kind of looks like his sister or one of his sisters, but I don't think it was. I don't think that the prosecution would go for the suspects or the defendant's family member being at the crime scene and
right. I
filming
just
it.
didn't know if they could have, mistaken them for her. But okay, sorry. I wanted to ask you right when I saw it, or I was gonna forget it. Sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine. Because I mean, we didn't heard all the other parts about him, him being arrested and all this and that. So there wasn't no use to read all that. But it does say here that Kootenai County Public Defender Ann Sher Taylor was born in 1965. And then her salary as a Kootenai County Public Defender, Ann Taylor earns an annual salary of between $119,017.60 and $172,598.40 effective October the 9th of 2022. So 120 to 173,000. So I'm
one was her base pay maybe, and one was when she's working on a case.
Yeah, it probably fluctuates depending on what type of case. I'm sure if she has a death penalty case, she probably gets paid more. I would think.
Oh, of course.
Because there's a lot more work that has to go into it, and she has to have probably more people on her team with a case like that. So she's gonna make more. But I think there's no telling how much she's gonna make on Bryan's case.
I hope that answered some of the questions that you had about her, because that's the only thing I found on her that didn't have, that wasn't about Bryan or anything, but I do have a question.
Okay.
So I definitely don't think that Xana's mom is a conflict of interest. However, is it Maddie's parents that she represented?
So it was said that she represented Maddie's dad, and I don't know if him and the lady is married.
I think they both had the same name when I read it.
Okay. So I believe her name would be Maddie's stepmother, not her real mom. I think her name is, I want to say Corey. I think if I remember correctly. But
okay,
she
so
had represented both of them.
They actually went to trial.
Yeah, because Maddie's dad actually spent, was it 6 months in jail for his crime? I can't remember if the stepmom, if she served any time or not, but her dad ended up, I believe it was 6 months he had to serve.
Okay, so that I do believe is a conflict of interest. What do y'all think? I mean, she actually represented him at a trial. Now, Xana's mom, not so much. So I don't think that's a conflict of interest, in my opinion.
Right.
However, since she actually represented in trial the other parents, I don't know how that would work. But again, in my opinion, I do believe it's a conflict of interest. King Scarlet, I would like to know what you think.
Well, first of all, I love it when you say however. I don't know why you always say however. But anyways, she has confidential information, like I said before, that was, that was made while she was represented all these clients that are family members. So
Right.
she didn't represent them personally, I guess, according to her, as far as we know, but her office represented them. So their confidential information is available to Ann Taylor, and she will be cross-examining witnesses, but she already has confidential information from those witnesses. So
Right.
in my opinion, I find it kind of it's illegal and unethical for her to use that information against her previous clients, and it's also, in my opinion, illegally and unethical for her not to use every means of evidence to defend her client, Bryan.
Yeah, I mean,
And you
even if
know
that
that
means going after using them, what she knows personally about them, which is
even
sad.
if even if the judge would order her to not, use what she knows from you know what I mean, from previously in this case. I mean, come on now. That's not going to work. We all know that.
I mean, yeah, they can, but that would be something I believe that the prosecution would have to bring up to the court, and then have that where she can't use any of their past history or past criminal history or whatever uh, against them in court while they're a witness. Because I'm pretty sure
Now,
Maddie's dad, I don't know about her stepmom, but I'm pretty sure her dad would probably be a witness.
To what?
now don't
Uh,
get me wrong. Okay, sorry. Go ahead,
no,
Judy. I've
no.
been talking so much.
No. But to what?
They can just have them on the stand to tell if they had seen anything in the house, like if they had went to the house for anything, they could be called for that. They said that the Gonzalez family is more than likely going to be a witness. And it just could be to testify what they've seen going on around the house, what they know about what their kids did. Could be anything like that.
But that kind of information has nothing to do with cases that she could have represented.
No.
Glowbug, that right there is what I was wondering. Because, see, I thought she went there. Yeah,
No, wait.
right.
I think whenever he was arrested on December the 10th, I mean, shit, y'all, December the 30th, I believe that's when she was notified that once he got back into Idaho, that she was going to be representing him. Wasn't that? Didn't we read that
That's what I was
somewhere?
just going to say. But because people were saying when he was in PA that he already had a lawyer in Idaho. So that's what I was thinking. And of course, right when she's appointed, she's going to go straight to the crime scene.
Because
You
if y'all
know,
remember, wasn't it the day that he got arrested was the day that they were supposed to clean the house. That's when the crews were there. And then when he was arrested early that morning, then the crews, they once they got there, they had to leave. Yeah, she halted the cleaners. And nobody knew why. We just thought maybe it was like the prosecution or whatever had stopped it for whatever reason. We'll kind of find out she's the one that halted it.
oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's because she had already been notified when he was arrested that she was going to be appointed his attorney before he even went and waived his rights to extradition and all this and that. She was already told that she would be his attorney once he got back to Idaho. Because either way, he would have ended up coming back, whether he would have done it on his own or they would have had to go through the process of getting him back there. But she was already appointed his attorney. And then I believe it was, and I don't have a calendar in front of me. Hold on. Because I have all this wrote down, but it's somewhere in my notes. But let me get my calendar pulled up here. So, okay, so he was arrested December the 30th. He went to court for the first time was January the 3rd, right? And then he was sent back to Idaho on the 5th, right? Wasn't that right?
I don't know any dates.
I believe so.
I think that's what it was. He was arrested December the 30th, which was on a Friday night. Well, no, Friday. It was early Friday morning. Uh, he went to court January the 3rd. And then that's when the whole extradition thing and all that. And then he was back in Idaho on the 5th.
The lawyer that was representing him on his first court appearance was just standing in.
Right. While he was in Pennsylvania. What was his name? Was it Jason LaBar?
Yeah, they knew right off he wasn't going
Yeah.
to represent him.
Yeah, he was just a temporary attorney for him.
Oh, what was I gonna ask? So his first court date that he's gonna have on the 6th is that when he's gonna plea, right?
On June the 26th is when he'll enter a plea.
Okay, that's gonna be interesting.
Yeah, so he's supposed to enter a plea June 26th, and then they said that the state has 30 days from that day of him entering the plea to let him know if they're going to pursue the death penalty. So there's 30 days in the month of June. They will have till exactly July the 26th to let him know. So, and I'm assuming if they don't let him know by July the 26th, then it's not going to be a death penalty case unless they motion a court to come back in and, and I guess let him know or whatever.
I have a couple of things to say. 9mm. I so agree with you, and I would think she would be the last person to come out and cause a ruckus because of the warrants and her criminal background and stuff like that. Like, I thought she would be the last person that would come out and cause a scene. And also, I saw another comment that I wanted to see.
I'm fixing while you're talking, Stonegator, I'm fixing to go to the state of Idaho website and see if they've got a document on there when she became. No, okay, so wait, here it is right here. Go ahead and finish saying what you were going to say, and then I'll pull this up.
Okay, Glowbug says the judge made her the official public defender the day he was in court. So I have a question. Does the judge have a list of clients that she's represented in the past? Like, how would he know unless the prosecution brought it up, as a problem?
Well, actually,
how would he know?
There was an order appointing the public defender to Bryan on December the 30th of 2022. That's what I got pulled up here. And I don't know if y'all can see that or not. If not, I can zoom it in.
And then, because she was appointed his lawyer, the sleuthers and everyone, reporters and everyone else, stumbled across the fact that she had represented certain family members, and that's how it came out.
Yeah.
So the judge found it off of social media?
Don't know.
I'm wanting to know how the judge would know June 3rd or whenever. I want to know how the judge knew that she defended the family right then and there when he made her definitely the lawyer. Am I making sense?
Yeah.
How does the judge know that she defended the family without? I'm sure the judge doesn't look at YouTube.
But wasn't that brought up by Ann Taylor?
There was a motion, wasn't there?
Because I'll have to go back and look, but
that's
because
what I was asking.
She knew that she had, if I remember correctly, and this is how it was said, that she withdrew from Kara's case and then started representing Bryan, and then she brought it to the judge. But Crime Crazy saying it was discovered by internet sleuths. They probably dug into this woman, looking into her and all that, and found all that out. But it says here that she was appointed his attorney, his public defender on December the 30th.
Also, I believe that she was supposed to represent Zaina's mom, but she didn't show up for court. Right. Is that my understanding? Am I
Yeah, because I'll have to go back. Let me see if I can go
It's a
back and
little
find.
confusing, but
Okay.
In my opinion, Xana's mom shouldn't even be in the equation or the story or anything because she's just a problem in the whole mess. Like, definitely, she's not a conflict of interest. She needs to get out the way and let everything happen. Or is she, trying to make a ruckus for a reason? She doesn't want him to have the death penalty.
I'm wondering if she was bringing all of that up to maybe try in her mind try to help the case that she missed court on, because it was one of the victims was her daughter. And I'm fixing to find the thing. I've got it on here somewhere. I've just got to find my folder. But there is, shit, I don't remember what I named it either.
also Stonegater, her name is all over the paperwork, and if she was to represent her but she didn't show up, it would be kind of confusing for her. She would have thought that she was representing her, or I don't think she lied. I think she was maybe confused or about who was representing her at the moment.
Okay, this isn't what I want.
Okay. I understand.
Okay, I have on here, I'm trying to find it because I didn't put it in a folder. Okay, this isn't it either. When Ann Taylor went to the judge, they went into the judge's chambers and she had a conversation with the judge. I just got to find where the hell I put it at. Maybe it's in my court documents. But I do have it. But she went in, talked to the judge, explained the situation. They all agreed on it. There was no conflict.
But understand, Stonegater, this was a double-edged sword. This was something that if it wasn't ironed out before the hearing, that if Bryan would have been found guilty, Bryan could have later said, appealed to the court saying, I don't know if they call it ineffective or whatever the point is he could have used that saying that lawyer should have never represented him because she was tied into something else.
Right.
So everybody had to agree on this.
Yeah, and they even asked him, gotta see if I can find it, but they even asked him if he wanted to keep her as his attorney, and he said yeah.
Can I address a couple of people in chat?
Yeah, go ahead.
9mm. So the prosecution cannot object to her being taken off the case? Only the defendant and the judge and...
Yeah, I think it's only the defendant would have to say that he doesn't want her as his representation. Where the hell is this? I know I've got it.
I agree with Ava 100%. And also one thing, at the beginning, everyone assumed that Ann Taylor was the only death penalty attorney to take that case, but it turns out that actually they have, we know now that there's definitely more than one death penalty attorney. Now I'm wondering if she took the case because she's the quote unquote chief.
I think
death penalty prosecutor.
I believe she was appointed his attorney because she was the only one in that district in northern Idaho.
And she's got 21 years, so this is her way out.
The meeting where? Okay, y'all, just give me 1 second. I know I've got it on here somewhere. This is talking about the gag order. I read the thing that night when I talked about the gag order. Let me see if this is it. Where they had went in. Okay, yes, here it is right here. Okay. I knew I had it somewhere.
The gag order is, I know it's kind of normal, I guess, but I mean, we can't control media. Media is going to do what they're going to do.
Right.
But media doesn't have access to the information that they wanted to gag.
There's a lot of leaks all the time in cases, but I see what you're saying, Judy.
Okay, so what was it that we were looking for? Oh, I know what it was. Okay, hold on. Let me find it. Because this was a status conference about the conflict of interest. So let me see if
Can
I
I
can
say one
find
more
it.
thing?
Yeah,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
No, you're fine. I'm just looking for this
So
part.
everyone's like, oh, Ann Taylor represented, has power of attorney over Xana's mom, but because her signature's on it or whatever. But you know what? This just reminded me, someone said, are we positive Ann Taylor did in fact represent Xana's mom? And everyone's saying yes, because her name is on the power of attorney and all this and that. Now, I do believe that her name would be on all of everybody because she's the chief. Now that I know she's the, chief of the department, because the power of attorney doesn't go to a specific attorney, it goes to the whole department. So
Right.
the chief would absolutely, I believe, sign everything. Do you agree? So maybe that's why her name was on it, but wasn't actually quote unquote power of attorney like everyone was thinking.
Now, I don't know about Ann Taylor being a power of attorney over her, but I do know that there is, and I've got it, I did find it on my computer a minute ago. I have a screenshot of the Bell Company having power of attorney over Kara. Um, but the part where of Ann Taylor's name being on everything, it's in this status conference thing. She does say that because she is a chief public defender, whatever her title is, her name is on top of all the letters that have to do with that public defender's office. And then whoever is representing, let's just say Kara, for example, whoever's representing her their name would be underneath her name, showing that that person is the one representing her. But it does say right here, and I don't know if I can highlight. Oh yeah, I can highlight it.
But Scarlett, the last case where she didn't show up, Ann Taylor was supposed to represent her, right?
Right. And it does, yeah, that's what it says
And
here.
then
So
she
it
did
says,
drop her.
let's see. Okay, so it says Miss Taylor further stated that there was a 2017 misdemeanor case which was sentenced and her office was waiting to withdraw from. Miss Taylor stated that the public defender who represented Miss Kernodle in that matter was, and they redacted that attorney's name, who left the public defender's office in September or October. Mrs. Taylor stated that her practice is to transfer all cases that are pending withdrawal or have a bench warrant issued to her. So any of those cases that she's not representing, she wants them transferred over to her. So that means she's saying that because this public defender was leaving the office while he was representing Kara, then that's how Kara's case got transferred over to her. So she says Ms. Taylor stated that the 2017 case was assigned to her on October the 20th, and from October the 20th until the date she withdrew, Ms. Taylor stated that she had no contact or relationship with Ms. Kernodle and has not met her or provided any legal advice. Ms. Taylor stated that most of what the media is reporting on regarding the Kootenai County cases is untrue. So she did represent her.
I disagree.
Until
so she didn't lie. I mean, technically speaking, she didn't lie. I mean, I don't know if she said that she met her before. I didn't really watch the interview of the mom, but at some point she did represent her.
Yeah, she was
I don't
assigned
agree.
to her on October the 20th until she withdrew. So it doesn't state when she withdrew from the case.
She didn't represent her because she obviously had a bench warrant, which means she missed court, which means she never represented her.
Okay,
because she never went to court.
But read right here what it says. Ms. Taylor stated that the public defender who represented Ms. Kernodle in the matter was, and they redacted the attorney, who left the public defender's office in September, October. Ms. Taylor stated that it's her practice is to transfer all cases that are pending withdrawal or have a bench warrant issued to her. That's the reason why Kara's case got transferred to her. She could have had a bench warrant, but it also could have been because her public defender that she had at the time had withdrew from the case and left the public defender's office. So I don't think the attorney is going to get in front of a judge and lie and say, yeah, I represented her if she didn't.
So
I
it's
just
like,
think
so
represent is the wrong word.
no, so it's like, let's say you sign up for a class, right? Technically, you get your schedule and that's your teacher, but if you don't show up to class, then was that your teacher? On paper it was, but you didn't show up to class, kind of thing.
Right.
Technically, she's not lying, but she'd never met her.
Right. She never went and stood before a judge and represented her that way, but she did represent. She was assigned as her attorney at some point, and they're saying this would have been October the 20th. I would assume it's a 2017 case. So was Kara's case transferred over to her in 2022, or was it in 2017? It doesn't clarify that. Just that it's a 2017 case. It was assigned to her on October the 20th, and from October the 20th until the date she withdrew, Ms. Taylor stated that she had no contact or relationship with Ms. Kernodle. So she was her attorney. She just never stood in front of a judge and was like, okay, my client is going to plead guilty, not guilty. We want to do this or whatever. She didn't do anything like that.
Another thing you want to keep in mind when you use the words power of attorney can be full or it can be limited. Okay. So just because if I gave Scarlett power of attorney to sell my antique car, she's only got power of attorney to do that.
Yeah, because there's two. Okay, so I don't know if it's the same in every state, but like in Louisiana, we have a medical power of attorney and then we have a financial power of attorney, or you can do both of them in one power of attorney thing. So like what Judy's saying would be a financial type thing, but I don't know if they have that in every state.
Limiting it to one financial transaction.
Right.
So just because that's good. So if I gave Scarlett power of attorney for my financial, but it's specified in the power of attorney she's only allowed to do this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
Without specifications, it's a general, so you can do anything you want.
So Scarlett, with the power of attorney that you said that you were only able to see, would you even be able to see one if they had one, if their office had one, the public defender's office?
I'm thinking if there was a power of attorney over Kara with the public defender's office, I think Ann Taylor would have probably brought that up in court or in that status hearing, and would have been like, yes, I did have it, or yes, the public defender's office had it, or no, it didn't.
The reason that I ask is because the other day I was helping someone with their paperwork because they weren't not understanding it, and this was for a public defender on the other side, and I didn't even know. I had never seen the paperwork for the public defenders, but they literally ask people to sign over like their medical, even bank statements, depending. I think it's for depending on the crime or if it's a felony. I'm not quite sure, but they have you sign over medical, all kinds of stuff. You're signing a whole bunch of paperwork to the public defender's office for them to represent you. So that's why I asked that maybe she could have thought she signed that, or maybe she did, but we can't see it. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, it probably wasn't to Ann Taylor specifically. It was probably to the public defender's office as a whole. But she might have, because if she signed it during the time that she was told that Ann Taylor was now her public defender, she might have thought that, that Ann Taylor had the power of attorney over her. instead of the whole office. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to find where I just saw the power of attorney thing. Because I know that when I was going through all this other stuff, I saw it.
So I was thinking too when while you do that, I was thinking when they were grabbing all the black clothes from the warrant or from Bryan, I was wondering if they were doing that because they were gonna see what's missing as far as like the receipt and stuff that he bought.
I mean, yeah, because I'm curious to know another like what's on the Walmart thing with the was it
I'm
the
curious to know if the clothes they found was Dickies.
yeah the Dickies. That's what I was trying to think of, the Dickies tag. I'm
I
wondering.
sent you a picture, Scarlett, of what I thought.
Okay,
But yeah, same Stone Gator.
I'm
Well, we
wondering
got
if
to.
that's what they're gonna try to, like you're saying, they're gonna try to compare it to that. Okay, so he has this receipt, and let's just say the Walmart receipt has Dickies clothes on it or whatever, and then they go through and they don't find the Dickies clothes or the what was the other one, Marshalls, and they don't find whatever's on that receipt if there's any clothing. Then I wonder if they're gonna try to narrow it down to that's what he had on that night.
Yeah, that's what I was
Well,
Well,
they
they
better
can't.
narrow it down to something because in June, they got to prove to a judge that they got a case.
Well, on
Right.
the they can't just compare the clothing with the receipt. On the receipt is the actual UPC code and manufacturing code, which is found on the tag of the clothes. So
And they
the
didn't
only
use it.
way they would have to match the receipt with the number on the tag. The only way they cannot do that is if he cut the tag off.
Which is the first thing I do with new clothes because I can't stand it scratching the back of my neck.
Where the hell? I know I just seen this, y'all.
Right, Marissa? Same. I like dark clothes,
Let's
black
see.
and
I'm
navy
over
blue.
there. Let's be tired after.
also the green substance. I think it's probably what we all think it is, but they have to say that it's a substance because they can't say what it is unless it gets tested.
Right.
And since it's not legal in PA, I guess it's considered contraband, and they can't leave it. They have to take it.
You had me wondering for a minute there. Wait, what green substance did I miss on this list? And I
Oh,
I get what you're talking about now.
A good night 9 millimeter. With that green substance, I've been hearing people say that it might be kratom because of the heroin addiction. However, if they said it was a leafy substance, correct? I have never seen kratom being sold as a leafy product. I've always seen it like powdery.
Uh, hold on. Oh shit, I ain't got it. I'll have to pull it back up. But I believe it said a green leafy substance. I believe that's how they had it in the papers.
Right, and people were suggesting kratom. However,
Hmm.
I've never seen kratom in a leaf form. I don't know if anyone's else heard of that. I've always seen it as a powder. So I don't know if it would be kratom, is what I'm
I don't
saying.
know what that
Uh,
is.
I have no idea. I mean, I know that some people take it for pain or whatever, but I've never seen it. Uh,
It's actually considered synthetic heroin.
oh, okay.
That's why heroin, people coming off heroin usually take kratom, as well as people with pain.
I
Okay.
don't. I don't know anything about drugs. Like literally nothing. Some people will like be like, oh, like that person looks like something, and I'll be like, I don't even know.
Right,
Oh,
the Krista, that's what I'm saying too. It had to have been marijuana.
yeah. I mean, I figure. I think I even said that when I was reading through the thing. Like it was just weed or whatever. Okay, so this is a power of attorney um, thing, and it's Continental Heritage Insurance, and it says, let's see, it's $2,500 bond amount, and it's for domestic battery ×2. And I'm assuming this is going to be Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, CDA. I believe that's what that says right there for city. So that's the only power of attorney thing that's ever been brought up as far as a power of attorney for Kara or over Kara. There hasn't been anything that was found that has anything to do with Ann Taylor's office.
Yeah. Well, we can only go by what we see.
And this was August the 8th of 2017.
How do we know anything was on the weed glove bug? How do we know it's even weed? That's just us. You're right, Marissa. It could be from Washington or it could be from Colorado.
So it's legal in Washington, right? Weed is?
Yes.
Okay.
And Colorado.
In Colorado.
I'm not sure about Pennsylvania, but Idaho is definitely not. Idaho is, I heard, really strict on that.
Okay.
Well, it takes me back to the prescription. I wonder what the prescription is for.
Yeah, they're probably not going to give us that information because of it being medical.
Oh, a while back in the chat. Oh, I forgot about it and I just forgot about it again. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll go
No, you're
ahead.
good.
I'll remember it. I can't remember.
It'll come back to you in a minute, I'm sure.
I hope so.
I want to know what this order to release property is that they're supposed to be releasing this week.
I remembered.
Go ahead.
So there were people in the chat saying something about Ann Taylor was letting the media or whatever ride to try to get information or to try to get a mistrial or anything. Well, in that case, why would they try to keep the gag order? Wouldn't they try to release the gag order to try to get more stuff to use for a mistrial?
From like the media and stuff like that, what they're doing? Is that what you're saying?
Well, at first they were saying that maybe she was letting it ride so social media would run with things and she would possibly try to use that for a mistrial. So if she's looking for, let's just say she's looking for something to use for a mistrial, wouldn't she want the gag order released so that information would get out and things would get jumbled up and things would happen and then she would be able to use that as a mistrial? Or no, or that wouldn't matter.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that one for a minute. Because, okay, I'm trying to remember if it was said if anybody had requested the gag order to begin with or if the judge just took it upon herself to do it. I don't remember if that was ever...
I think the judge did it, hon.
Okay. Because I was going to say, if Anne had asked for it, but then she was like, no, just let it go or whatever, and wouldn't be fighting as hard to keep it. And then what you're saying, like the media and stuff like that, and then she turned around and she asked for a mistrial, then it would make it look like that was what her idea was. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, her intentions were.
Right. Like, okay, let's just get rid of the gag order because later I'm going to ask for a mistrial.
Right. That's what I was trying to say.
I don't know how. I mean, because Maybe she's trying to keep the gag order because we've heard from certain. Okay, Crime Crazy, have a good day. We've heard from certain media outlets or journalists or whatever we call them that someone close to the case or someone, and I've still got to find the video where she says close to the case and close to the prosecution. Maybe she's wanting to keep the gag order and she's waiting for all these leaks to come out. And she's going to figure out where these leaks are coming out. You see what I'm saying? And then she's going to ask for a mistrial because of that. Could be a possibility.
Well, be prepared because this chick's going to use any excuse to get this guy to walk.
Oh, yeah. I think she's going to. I just look at, and like I said, I haven't looked into her. I've just read the thing that I read to all y'all that Stone Gator sent me. But I think she's going to do what a defense attorney is supposed to do in order to represent him.
There might be other public defenders in there that can do the death penalty, but she's probably number one.
Yeah.
That's why Bryan wants her.
I don't see her. You know how you may get a public defender and they just slack on the job of representing someone in court.
Yeah,
I don't think she's going to do that. I don't either. I don't see her as a slacking type of attorney, whether she's public defender or not.
Like I said, this is big money to her, and it's not just her paycheck.
Right. Oh, I mean, this is going to throw her name out there.
Yeah, this money she's making for this case is a drop in the bucket of what she's going to make down the road on this case.
Yep.
I think she's going to use any loophole, anything she can to her advantage, and anything as possible.
Yeah, I think she's going to do whatever she can possibly do and get away with that she can legally do without getting in trouble.
No, I mean just the fact that how this evidence was collected and how it was stored and how it was bagged up and yada yada yada. This is going to, she's going to pick on that.
Yeah, I think she's going to pick everything apart. Honestly, she's going to nitpick, not just pick everything apart. She's going to nitpick piece by piece. That's what
all
she's
that
gonna
money
do.
she's getting. She better do something.
Right.
There better be some DNA somewhere.
There better be what?
DNA somewhere.
We don't know. That's what I think. That's what bugs me the most is that they don't have to tell us what all they have, and we're all curious of what they have.
Dude, you just read my mind. I was just about to say, we sit here and we speculate what would happen if he went to trial, or the lawyers would do this, or the lawyers would do that, or, this and that. We want to know what this is about, or we want to know what happened here.
Right.
But we don't even know if he's going to trial yet.
No.
And we really I'm 100% positive in my opinion that the prosecution definitely has stuff that, definite stuff that can prove him guilty, and that's why they want the gag order so tight.
I agree. I think they have a lot on him. I really do. And I think that there's more people involved, but they don't maybe they don't have the evidence. I want to know how he knew that the back door was going to be open.
Maybe it was always open.
I wonder, and this is just me with my mind and how it works. I'm wondering if one of those 12 times that he was in the area late at night, early in the morning, if he didn't sneak down to the house and just kind of snoop around, look through the windows, maybe check the door.
Do a dry run?
Right, and see if it's easy for him to get into the house, how quiet it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, for all we know, he could have went through the house when they were sleeping, and they never
Oh
knew
my
it before.
gosh.
You know, just to
Uh,
see, maybe get the maybe that's how he got the layout of the house. Was, you know, and he might have went in and just did that, but would have been prepared if anybody would have woke up and called him. Um, but I wonder if he possibly did that.
I
Yeah.
just thought of something.
What's that?
Maybe so here DoorDash, like you can say leave it at the door or you can say meet face to face or whatever.
Mhm.
So I'm thinking maybe Brian was around when DoorDash delivered. Maybe they delivered it at the door and he saw it. He picked it up, went through the back door, and that's how it got in the kitchen behind the faucet. Maybe she got a notification that the food was there, went down, didn't see the food, went back to contact DoorDash, and then he got in the house, put the bag in the kitchen, and maybe that's how it got into the kitchen. And then he went about his business and maybe that's what Xana was doing on her phone whenever he went do the crime. I don't know. I'm just, again, speculating, but does that sound like maybe plausible?
I think at this point anything's possible.
Yeah, anything is
Honestly,
possible, but we don't know if the bag in the kitchen was from that day.
You're right. We don't, but I'm just saying, could it be does it sound like it could be, an option?
Anything's an option, but I think it's kind of over the edge.
Is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No, I would say my opinion only. But I mean, I'm still stuck on you guys say that maybe he went back there and he tried to open the door to see or whatever trial, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Like wouldn't they see him? Like there was no blinds or nothing there. They were up.
Right.
Like how would he know that they're all like asleep or in their rooms?
He could have gone there when they were all gone.
I think Maddie's room, out of Maddie, Kaylee, and Xana's rooms, I think Maddie's room had something covering her window because she only had the window in the back. In Kaylee's room, that sliding glass door, I don't think there was anything covering it. And then Xana had the room, her bedroom had the window in the front. I think she had blinds on her window. And then Kaylee had a front window that I believe had blinds on it because I think it was her room that they had the blinds lifted partially up and you could see her TV on the wall from the front of the house. So he could have easily snuck down underneath the deck and just went up, close, just kind of, I don't know what you would call it, but kind of like stayed up against the house and snuck down to the sliding glass door just to see if it was open, or maybe snuck around to the front of the house at some point in time and to see if anybody.
And then that makes me wonder what was going to be his plan B if the door wasn't open.
I don't know. I wonder
Hey, I
if
have a question. Did anyone go to DoorDash and put in the house's address and then try to order from whatever restaurant it was that I don't remember and see what the actual options are so that because I personally have never seen, and it doesn't happen here, that a store closes at 2 a.m. but stays open for only DoorDash orders. That's stupid if a store did that. Like they would have so much they would make more money having the whole store open till 4 a.m. like aka like Taco Bell. But I never heard of keeping a store open just for DoorDash orders. That would be dumb.
Well, no, you got it. I think you misunderstood, or maybe I misunderstood. They took orders up to a certain time of night, telling the customers that they probably wouldn't get delivered till a
Till
certain
later.
time of night. So they stayed open only inside with the workers with the doors locked, just filling these orders.
Yeah, I mean, like
Right, and I'm
here,
saying that doesn't make sense. Why they wouldn't have that many orders for just DoorDash at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning.
well, you got to
And
remember there's like 2 college towns right there.
I
And
understand that, but it's still like there's yeah, I don't agree with that at all. I don't believe that.
because whenever I looked up the, um, the Jack in the
Right,
Box,
Brian.
it was they closed the orders had to be in by 2:40. I believe it was 2:45, 2:30 or 2:45, and then they were closing. Oh shit! What time was it? Were they closing from 4 to 5? I
Yeah, they were
believe.
closing to clean or something.
Yeah, to clean the kitchen from 4 to 5, and then they were going to open right back up.
Oh, okay.
And then it
Then that's
takes.
different.
I order DoorDash all the time, so they give you a time frame about an hour, or depending how
Right.
far the place is, or
Hmm.
if the deliver person has more than one orders, then it could take a minute to get to you.
Yeah, and especially with it
Man,
being the 2 college towns literally, 9 miles apart on a Saturday night,
And
uh,
they're
drunk
ordering because they're
college
drinking.
kids yeah, drunk college kids who need to eat after they've been partying, that's probably Friday night into Saturday morning, and then Saturday night into Sunday morning is probably their busiest time for DoorDash, especially in 2 college towns right there that close together.
Yeah.
still, I wouldn't order from there. Like, hello, my food would be cold, cold, cold by the
That's the
time
only
it got there.
place. That's the only place that's open, I believe, at that time.
Yeah.
But
See,
no,
like
isn't the food truck open? Everybody else ate there. Why? You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like,
well,
That's
she
I
would
what
just don't.
microwaves are made for.
Xana would have had to have went to the food truck, or Ethan would have had to have went to the food truck to get that food, where she could have just had um, the food delivered through DoorDash, unless she just wanted Jack in a Box that night.
And then also don't get to remember that there's an app. So every whoever delivered has already been cleared because of the app. That's like digital evidence. What
Right.
time he was there, what time it was dropped off. They even take a picture, and he even came forward. So I'm pretty sure they know, exactly what happened with the DoorDash.
Yeah. Yeah, because I believe that I don't know if the police went and found the driver, or if the driver actually came in and talked to them first.
He came
Uh,
forward. He came
okay.
forward.
Yeah, he went first.
And gave all of that information, and him and the driver that dropped Kaylee and Maddie off that night, he came and showed them, this is where he went. I believe he went to Taco Bell after he dropped them off,
Yeah.
and showed them all of that, where he went and then went home afterwards. So, but I mean, that's like here, the McDonald's, like a lot of the fast food restaurants, they will close the lobby part down, but they'll keep the drive-through open until 2-3 o'clock in the morning, and that in whatever time they close, and they close it all down. Let's see. Hey Ashes, how are you?
Y'all are saying to microwave it when it gets there if it's cold, but
Mhm.
no, because you have vegetables on the hamburger. Maybe you can't microwave the lettuce. The tomatoes would be gross, and especially if you have mayo, no way.
See, that's why you order your hamburger without the pickles and the tomatoes, and then you have your pickles and your tomatoes at home. You heat your hamburger back up and then put all your fresh vegetables on it.
Bruh, no.
Scarlett's nose. Or you take
You
it
might
out.
as
But
Again,
I don't
it's a
order fast
college
food.
town and they've been drinking.
Right. They could care less what they eat. If it's soggy, if it's cold, if it's whatever. They don't care. They're just hungry. But I mean, here
and
we don't
we're
even have DoorDash, so I don't have to worry about that, and I don't eat at fast food restaurants. So
to be fair, Jack in the Box is pretty good cold though.
Do we even have a Jack in the Box here?
Nothing is
There-
cold. They don't have Jack in the Box in Louisiana that I know of.
I didn't think they did.
Yeah.
I think the only things we have here is like McDonald's, Burger King. We have Dairy Queens,
But
Taco
you know
Bell,
what? You
stuff
are
like
close
that.
to the Texas border and close enough, right? They have Jack in the Box. Maybe look and see how close to the
I'm like,
border one is.
I'm like an hour and a half to 2 hours from the Texas line.
Well, depending on how bad you want to try Jack in the Box, you know.
Yeah, just sounds a toy popping up out of a box, and they sell food now.
I'm not saying that DoorDash doesn't deliver at 4 o'clock in the morning. I assumed or I misunderstood that the store closed at 2 for the night or for the rest of the morning until the next time it opens. But that's not what it was. It closed down for an hour to do whatever they needed to do. However, they were still doing DoorDash orders and then they opened back up. And that's what I misunderstood. So now I do understand. I know,
Yeah,
DoorDash does.
yeah, they were just closed. I want to say I can't remember if it was 3 to 4. Then that's the reason why the orders had to be in by 2:45, or if it was from 4 to 5 that they closed. But they had closed for that hour. Hey Alice, how are you? And she says, "What does Jack in the Box serve?" Greetings from Australia. Does anybody know what I know they have hamburgers. I'm sure fries. I've never ate at one, so
I only eat the tacos and the curly fries.
They have egg rolls too.
wait. A fast food restaurant sells egg roll. See,
And my
you,
mom loves them. I don't like Jack in the Box at all.
you should only get egg rolls from a Chinese restaurant. Nowhere else. Just like you don't buy crawfish from a fast food restaurant. It don't happen. Like that makes no sense.
Detra, Ed, I think DoorDash driver going into the house is against DoorDash's policy, so I don't think that would be an option.
I think the DoorDash stalled him, to be honest. I think it stalled him. And that was the turns that the car was doing, and possibly what was going on across the street with the cops and the people that got stopped there. And I feel like he was stalled for a little bit.
It could have been. Because they say that he went through the first time at 3:29, and what time was the cop out on Taylor Avenue?
Like 3:30, like 3:30.
So he would have had to have passed by those cops out there.
I so agree with you, Emerald Queen, 100%.
Like Jack in the Box serves flavored grease. Oh, I ain't eating no Whataburger either.
They don't have Whataburger in Louisiana.
They got them in Texas though.
Yeah.
It just the name don't sound good. Wait, their tacos are called grease wallets.
Do y'all remember when they had the big fried tacos and now they have the mini tacos? I used to like the big ones, but I never tried the mini ones.
I haven't been in a while, but I remember I used to eat the tacos and the curly fries. They're good.
Bryan said, "I am sorry, I am not driving 18 miles a round trip for a effing hamburger delivery."
Right.
Bryan, honestly, it was probably more than 18 miles because that DoorDash delivery guy probably had other stops.
Could you like they would have had? Look, you better be leaving me a hefty tip if I got to drive that far. You know what I mean? A hefty tip before I would accept that order.
Yeah,
Little
it's
baby.
expensive as gas is right now. It wouldn't be worth being a DoorDash delivery person.
That's a whole different debate about tipping. Some people don't want to tip. And I always say you got to tip them. They're using their own car, their own resources. They're waiting for your food. I got into a whole debate with someone today about that.
Well, I mean, yeah, they're out. I know they deliver at all hours of the day, but just think about the ones who are out at night, just maybe trying to pay their way through school or something like that. And It's always good to tip somebody that's in the food service, except for McDonald's and places like that.
Well, if you want your food ordered from DoorDash, you might want to put a tip because if not, no driver's going to accept the order because they want a tip.
Yeah, well, think about it. I order it all the time, but I always tip because they're sitting there waiting for your food that could take time, right? That's their time. Then they're getting in
Exactly.
their own car, which is wear and tear on the car. They're using their own gas. They're
Right.
bringing it to your door. You
Getting
tip.
out and it's not like they can just pull up, you run out to the car and grab it from them, and like they physically have to get out of the car, and some places
No.
that I'm sure that they have to go to and get out of the car 1, 2, 3 o'clock in the morning is probably areas that are dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a pizza delivery person. They take, which pizza delivery, I don't know how they do it now. Used to, you paid them whenever they dropped the pizza off. Which DoorDash, they don't have to worry about that because they don't carry money that from the customers. But it's still it's dangerous. They have to get out of the car and leave it at 1 and 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning in some areas. $10 a month.
I agree. I have a possible theory, if you guys want to hear it.
Sure.
About the sheath.
Okay.
I kind of feel like now, because I've had several theories, I guess, but I kind of feel now like maybe the fact that Dylan opened her door and saw him, it distracted him. He ran out, and you know when you're doing something, right? And you're checking to make sure that you've done everything and you have everything on you when you're about to leave somewhere or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that she wasn't supposed to come out of her room for whatever reason, in my head, I'm thinking she opened the door, she saw him, and he ran out. And that's how he messed up.
Could have been.
What do you guys think?
I mean, it's possible. But I wonder, though, if he would have seen her seeing him, why didn't he attack her?
Here's my other theory.
Why did he let her live?
Because he knew who lived in that house, right? And
Yeah, more than likely so.
I have a feeling that he knew that her parents were attorneys, lawyers, or whatever the case may be.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe he didn't want to get into that.
Yeah, I think it's her stepmom that's an attorney, I believe. Because a lot of people were trying to say that her dad is the district attorney in Coeur d'Alene that has the last name Mortensen. A lot of people were trying to say that was him, but it's not. But I do believe her stepmother is an attorney. I don't know what type of attorney, like what type of cases she takes or anything like that, but I believe it's her stepmom. But I mean, that could be possible. Maybe he didn't want to, because obviously he had to have known who lived there. If he's been watching it that long and he sees pictures, if he's liking every one of Maddie's pictures, he knows that those girls, Kaylee, Xana, Dylan, and Bethany are all in that house with her. So that could have been it. Maybe he did his homework on each one of the girls that lived there and knew something about them.
Yeah, which kind of, it goes back to, if these girls weren't, I know that Maddie had just left her sorority, right? And Kaylee was not in one. I don't know. I just feel like they didn't have, I don't know, like protection, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like that there's the kids that have the elite parents and you don't mess with them type of thing.
Right. I just can't believe that a house with only girls living in it, their dads didn't have security cameras put up at that house. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd have had one if that's my daughter and she's living in a house with other girls and it's just the girls living there. I'd have had one at the front door, at every door, in some way possible, pointing at all the windows as well. along with an alarm system. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I would have wanted to make sure that my daughter, along with these other roommates, were safe, and if something was to happen, there's evidence that could be looked at. You know,
I have cameras everywhere. My car, everywhere.
I don't understand that. You know, especially in a college town, you know, because like it's, you know, the houses are that close together. There's always people in and out of that neighborhood. It seems like they would have had cameras there.
Even if you can't afford it, put some there that at least look like there's a camera there. So if someone tries to, they at least think you have a camera.
Right. It's something, but I mean, I know that the neighbor's house had a camera, and it was obviously pointing at some direction towards the house or the road somewhere through there, in order to capture Bryan going up to, you know, up to the apartment buildings and turning around and all this and that. So I wonder if it caught. Well, it had to have caught the DoorDash guy that night. I'm wondering if it caught more than what was put in that PCA.
Probably.
And they just put just enough in it, like we've always said, just to get the arrest warrant. But there's a lot more that they haven't shared with us.
Judy, are you there?
Okay. Yeah, I'm here.
Oh, I thought she was falling asleep.
Me too.
Are you okay, Judy?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Okay. Let's see. A lot of Dashers have. So, Chris, wait, you're talking about DoorDash delivery people have YouTube channels? And I wish I can remember the name of that YouTube channel we were watching earlier today. Troll had found it. It's the two kids from University of Idaho. And I think that boy, as part of Sigma Chi, but he's got videos with Ethan on it. Like, there's like 2 or 3 with him on it. I don't know, Brian. We can't get DoorDash here. I live out in the sticks. Does anybody know how much it is for DoorDash delivery?
It depends how far you're ordering from.
Oh, okay.
Usually it's around maybe $10 between
No.
couple bucks to like
Yeah, it's
15
usually like
bucks.
$3.99 or something like that. But
Yeah,
I
up to
pay $10 more.
$15. Up to $15, I think.
No,
Oh, wow.
their DoorDash has never been $15 delivery fee.
I live in California. Trust me.
Wow.
That's
How
all
the
she had to say, was that she lived in California. Like, everything is like super expensive out there.
I pay $10 a month and I don't pay a delivery fee ever. But that's only useful if you order a lot.
Let's see. White Widow Baby says, depending on the store we order from, it can be 49 cents up to $3.49. I would be scared that somebody would do something to my food. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you know that these people ain't messing with y'all's food?
They close the food. It has to be closed. They
It's
staple the
sealed.
bag. Yeah.
Haven't you ever heard of a staple remover and a staple gun?
It's not stapled, it's stickers. So you would know if it's open because it wouldn't stick back like it normally would when you first put it on.
Hold on,
Right,
y'all.
Brian?
You would notice.
Yeah.
Jan said tipping is the right thing to do. Yes.
I don't know, y'all. I'd be scared they would do something to my food. Like, they would figure some way. There's some very intelligent people and they would figure out how to unstick the sticker and then stick the sticker back. It would mess with
Only
my food.
someone that doesn't ever get DoorDash would think that.
Well, I live out in the middle of literally the woods. Like, I only see my neighbors once every few days, and that's just when they're passing my house. You know.
Scarlett, I don't think of that when I'm hungry and I need my food.
Yo, I get so mad whenever I look at the map to see the little car driving to see when they come, because where I used to live, they could never find the apartment because it was the end of a duplex. So I would always have to walk to the road and meet them.
Oh God, I had to walk 25 miles just to be able to pick up a DoorDash delivery.
Dang. Well, I be watching them drive. I'm talking about, King Scarlet, drive the map to see, how long. And when they turn somewhere else and goes to another delivery, I get so mad. I be like, man, there go my food being cold. I can't my food's supposed to be fresh from the store, not microwave.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
do y'all see what Deidre said? People inside can mess with your food too. See? People on the
Well, yeah, but that's
everywhere.
anybody. That's anywhere.
That's why I don't eat at fast food restaurants.
Bruh, you know how many people have eaten at fast food restaurants, and if they mess with our food, we still alive. And we don't know about it.
You don't know that people's hands are clean.
People's DNA in your food.
Exactly. If we don't know, then people go to the bathroom and they wash their hands. I mean, my husband Troll we ate at a restaurant one time, and he got this stuff called H. pylori, and it ate a hole, like it started an ulcer and caused his stomach to bleed. He almost drowned in his own blood.
What kind of food was this?
What was it that you ate from? That you got that? It was some fast food restaurant, and he was sick the night before, and then the next morning he woke up puking blood up, and I had to rush him to the hospital. And whenever they went in, they had to go in with a camera or whatever and found it. He got tested, and that's what it was. It was H. pylori, and then he had to do the what is that thing? Is it the Z-Pack? I believe that's what it is. What was it?
The antibiotic?
Yeah, it's like 4 or 5 things that he had to take in a pack or whatever.
Yeah, Z-Pack probably.
Yeah, he had to take it morning and evening. And yeah, that's why he don't even eat at fast food places anymore because of that. It literally almost killed him. Alice, that's what I'm talking about. She said, I hope young teens working in fast food practice hand hygiene. I'm telling y'all, that's why I don't do it. Judy, are you awake? Yeah, I think she's asleep.
I know, she's usually much more talkative.
She was trying to hang with us. I think my stomach is used to it. I think
You're immune
to it.
Yeah, I'm immune to it or something. But that not if I went to Mexico though. Mexico's a different. I'd be scared.
You know that they put out a level 4 do not travel to Mexico, right?
Yeah.
Because of those, which was sad. I hated to hear that they got kidnapped, but then they finally found them, and 2 of them were deceased.
Yeah, that's very sad. I think they were mistaken or something. Is that what they said?
Something about whenever they went down there for one of them to have a medical procedure done, and somehow whenever as soon as they got into the town and pulled up to wherever it is they were pulled up to, and another car runs into them, and they end up getting caught in the crosshairs of. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna leave Judy up here. I'm just gonna mute her because. Okay. But they end up getting in the crosshairs of a shootout between cartels or whatever. And I don't know if they mistaken them for somebody else or thought they were part of it or what, but they ended up taking all 4 of them. And I watched the video where they were throwing the one woman in the back of the truck. And
Yeah, I saw that too. Scary.
Right. And then it was 3 guys and a woman, and 2 of the guys were, I guess, murdered while they were there, which it was sad though.
They were saying that they think they got lost and then they got mistaken for Haitian. I say this right. Haitian lord.
Yeah. Yes.
Drug lords.
The Haitian. Yes, I did hear that. Did they something about the Haitian? Like I think maybe they were running drugs through Mexico or something like that, and the cartels didn't like it or whatever, and they thought that they were the Haitian drug runners or whatever. Yeah, I wouldn't go to Mexico. I mean, they still ain't done nothing in Shanquilla Robinson's case. The Mexican authorities haven't.
Yeah, but the sad part in that, because people were talking about that, they were bringing that up with this case, but they were like, it was her own friends that did it over there. It wasn't someone from out there
Right.
that, yeah.
Right. Yeah. But it's still though. I mean, they have the video footage of who done it, and they still haven't done anything to her. I call her a gremlin. She's still running loose in the U.S. somewhere. And now Shanquilla's family is calling for the president and the U.S. government and all that to step in and do something about it, because obviously the Mexican authorities aren't going to do anything.
Yeah, I believe they were paid. That's how it works over there.
Right. I remember playing that video on here of the fight. That was just like the girl didn't even want to fight them back. You know what I'm saying? And they just kept on and on and on.
Yeah, I'm half Mexican and half Italian, and there's parts of Mexico that I would never go. So you have to be careful. You got to do your own research, and it's good to go to areas where I mean it's safe. You know, I mean it's like anything. Think about it. If you go to like Chicago and you go to areas where you're not supposed to go to, it's kind of, you know.
Right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just gonna stay in the States. I think I'll be safe here.
Yeah, just play it safe.
I hardly even leave out of Louisiana unless I just absolutely have to. Krista says she went to Mexico in the 90s. It wasn't as bad, though, in the 90s is what they're saying it is now. How is Gremlin not got... Emerald Queen, I don't know. I don't understand it. They have video what happened. There was 3 or 4 people recording it. There was other people egging it on. And all, like, I don't know. I don't understand how she didn't get arrested for it. And I feel bad for her parents because they lied straight to her. Like these people actually went to the family's, her mom and daddy's house and sit down on the couch and lied to them about what happened. Never even mentioned the fight happening. And one of them was Shanquilla's best friend. Hey, Melissa Jade, how are you? And they just straight lied to her mom and daddy. You know.
Yeah. I think too, a lot of attention goes into when one of these things happen, because there's areas. There's like if you look up San Miguel, it's a town where it's so expensive. Like the houses are $600K. Like a lot of people from the U.S. are moving there. A lot of people that are retiring and stuff. So I don't know. It's crazy. It's sad though. Nobody deserves that.
Yeah, that is super, super sad. Hold on, y'all. I'm fixing to check on Judy one more time. I just want to make sure she's not talking and we can't see it because I got her muted.
I'm good.
Oh, are you sure? Because a minute ago, I think you were asleep.
Yeah, I had dozed off for a second. Now I'm eating chips.
Okay, well, I'll leave you unmuted then. I muted you a minute ago, but...
OMG, Melissa Jade is in your chat. I love her.
Melissa Jade is awesome. I stopped by her chat a couple of times. Everybody over there is like super nice.
Yes.
Yeah, make sure I
old age sucks sometimes.
Well, it's what, 3:30 in the morning where you're at? So
yeah.
Scarlett, thanks for having me. It's a
Oh, you're welcome.
pleasure. And Stonegator and Judy, I'm gonna drop down. I'll be in chat.
Okay. Yeah, I'm probably just gonna end it here in a minute anyway. I gotta go
Bye-bye.
eat me something.
Thank you guys. Bye.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
You too.
I'm dropping too because the chips are making noise.
Okay. Well, have a good night, Judy.
You too, hon.
All right. Thank you for coming up.
Yep.
I'm dropping too because I've been muted because I'm eating, and if everybody's leaving, I don't want to be muted.
See, y'all just been sitting here just all eating.
This is the
I
first
gotta
thing
go
I
eat.
ate.
Yeah, I haven't ate nothing today, so I gotta go eat something here in a few minutes too.
That's why I'm eating now, but I don't want to stay muted up here with you. Like, you know what I mean? You're talking to a muted person.
No, you're good. I'm gonna go ahead and end it anyway, so I can go eat me some egg rolls.
All right,
Y'all
thanks for
got me
having me
hungry.
up.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for coming up and hanging out with me for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
All right, have a good night. All right, y'all. So I think I'm fixing to get out of here too. I'm eating apples and peanut butter. See, y'all are just all eating, and I haven't got to eat yet. Oh, good Lord, White Widow baby. Yeah, Melissa Jade, I'm supposed to go eat me some. Troll bought me like a whole box of egg rolls. So I'm supposed to go heat me some up. So, yeah, I'm about to, y'all. So I just want to thank everybody for coming and hanging out with me tonight. I will be back tomorrow night, same time. So I hope to see y'all then. And I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful night. I don't think there's anything that I'm forgetting. If so, I don't think there is, but if there is, I'll make a community post about it. So, all right, y'all. Have a good night. I love you all, and I will see y'all tomorrow.